How are you? I'm so sorry. Welcome. Hey, Fact Base, Grace, Cat in the Hat, Sensible Crime. Hello. Matt, how are you, Matt? My bodyguard. It's been so long. How are you? Ethel? Hey, Ethel. I'm so sorry. What have y'all been talking about? Let's see. What have y'all Oh, what's going on, Cat in the Hat? Is everything okay? Oh no. I'm so sorry that you're in pain. Gosh. Ugh. Okay. Well, I hope you feel better. So, welcome everybody. Apologize. I am okay. How are you doing? It's been so long. I feel like it's been forever. I've needed my bodyguard. Yeah, it was I apologize. I had to check my daughter's blood sugar and then I could not find my headphones. And I was just like tearing through the house. And oh, well, you are, yes, fact based, you are. Damn, you are my bodyguard. I'll tell you that much on here. 100%. You are my bodyguard, my mod bodyguard. Awesome. Yeah. But yeah, like I was just apologizing. Yeah. So long. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yes, Lady Justice. Hey, Red Lotus. I'm like, hey, Red Lotus. How are you? Welcome, Lady Justice. Yes, she's a type 1 diabetic. So yes, and right now she usually has a Dexcom, what's called a CGM, continuous glucose monitoring, and with that, I'm able to see from my phone what her blood sugar is. But there was an issue with the insurance and it put off the next shipment. So we've been without it for like going on 2 weeks. And it just, you're back to the manual pricking of the finger all the time, even throughout the night. Yeah, I feel so bad because her little fingers they get all rough and I just hate, every time like I have to stick her and get blood and it just you don't forget, but it's kind of like, oh, like technology, the CGM makes everything so much better, so much easier, so much more like you're able to be so much more consistent. You're able to see her blood sugar pretty much in real time. You don't really have to stick her fingers anymore. The only thing, you have to do is every 10 days, you have to change the site. So, we put it right above her butt cheeks. Like, so we switch alternate each side every 10 days. And, it sticks her, but she didn't have to get any finger sticks, but we're waiting for him to come in. So, what? So, God, Lord, set the record straight. Why are you even here? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, ugh. And just so you know, I knew you were going to make a video because that's the type of person you are. She is a type 1 diabetic. Do you understand what that means? Set the record straight. Do you know what a type 1 diabetic is? You know that, her pancreas has failed. She has her body does not regulate insulin and blood sugar. Let's debate. Let's do it. But don't debate about my daughter's illness. I know you like to do that. Somehow saying that Shanann, by murdering her children, she pulled a muscle and that killed her. I mean, it's like, what? Ugh. Awesome. I mean, you want to come up this time? Like, type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disease. And her immune system started attacking her pancreas. So she was diagnosed at the age of 5. So, and it is most commonly diagnosed in juveniles. Okay, well, I'm sorry. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't put it past you, but yes, she's 8 years old. Yeah, it's not a joke. Yeah. Well, set the record straight. Did you come prepared this time to actually panel up and debate this case with me? I would assume that you would be prepared at this time. What, Matt? Red Lotus, I didn't know your daughter was a type 1 diabetic too. Oh, so you got your... Oh, no, there's no debate about that, Red Lotus. No. Let me tell you that, okay? Like, there's not going to be any debating that. No. I'm welcoming them to come up and debate the case with me since they have such a, they have some out there theories about this case. And I'm sorry, I'm opening this. Okay, what now? Granny Fanny. What does Granny Fanny know? Okay. What does Granny Fanny know? I bet you that they're warning her not to come on here because they know that I know I'm pretty well versed in this case. So I don't know. Maybe because I would school them pretty hardcore. Oh, okay. Okay, let's go. Here, I'm going to give you the link. Come on up here. Let me get this. It was not a beer. It was a Bang Pina Colada energy drink. Okay. I don't drink. There are some. Well, why don't you come and find out for yourself and not just believe some person with a fake accent that doesn't show their face at all. I normally do. You can see me in past lives, but my webcam has been broken. Okay. Well, maybe you are, but not me. I know. Well, I opened up Red Lotus. I opened up my Pina Colada Bang. Actually, you know what? What I'll do so I can shut them up, I think I can call in myself and show from my phone that I'm drinking an energy drink. Oh my God, shut up. I swear to God, do not make a comment, okay, about anything that has to do with type 1 diabetes. Like, for real. Matt Sully, I love how he's like, the cabinets are light gray, stainless steel. I know, right? Fact-based. Hi, Connie. Yeah. Okay, well, I put the link in the chat. So call in. I'm not debating with this. Okay. Set the record straight. I'm not dealing with your ass. So if you want to man up, because I guess you say you're a man, even though you have a feminine side, then come on or I'm blocking you. Well, there's a lot of things that aren't good for us, right, Lady Justice? You know? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm done. You're out. Get out of here right now. Get the fuck out. I'm not kidding around. I'm sorry. Fact base, you know what to do with them. You can, I don't care. If Set the Record Straight doesn't take the link and come up, then block their asses. And Lady Justice, time them out, whatever. Okay. So welcome everybody. Yeah, so Red Lotus has a type 1 diabetic daughter too. Oh, cool, Matt Sully. Yeah, I'll tell you, it is hard. I mean, I was just thinking back of when she was officially diagnosed when she was 5 and she was in DKA. Okay, Tracy. Well, yeah, we're like sorry, my washing machine is going on back there. It shouldn't be, Tracy. It shouldn't be at all. Here it is a place where you can bring your thoughts and perspectives in a respectful and civil manner. But once you are presented with evidence and truth, then I ask, you can still hold on to your belief, but please just don't go on and on and on about it. You know what I mean? That's what we're here to do. Oh my gosh, really? DK, guys. I mean, it is scary. My daughter went in slightly for 3.5 years. She hadn't got weight for 3 years. Yeah, about 3 years. Since she was officially diagnosed, she never went back into DKA. But she went in slightly. So she was in the PICU they only kept her one night. But it's scary. I mean, they can't keep anything down. I mean, and I don't know about you, Red Lotus, but when my daughter was 5, the symptoms of DKA with her, it was like her breathing was a little labored, but I had one of those ox pulse and put that on. She just, she was okay. Other than that, no fever, no anything. She's getting oxygen. And then I took her to the hospital, and it's just like that. It went from she had no energy. She just looked like she just dropped so much weight. I mean, in a matter of days. It was weird. Yeah, Red Lotus, I can understand. No, Nary. Yeah, it's a Bang energy drink. And let me, hold on. I was going to see if I could, because I think I can call him from my phone so I can just show that it's a Bang, because, some people in here just probably wouldn't even matter anyways, because they just don't even believe the facts, period. Okay, let me invite. Okay, so I put the link. Oh, let me see. Sorry, Michelle, let me go back. Oh, okay, well, great. Hi, Michelle. Hi, welcome. Hey, glad you're here. Yes, I do. I'm here. I am here. Oh my gosh, Red Lotus. So you understand. It is just awful. It really is. And well, she's 8 right now, but when she becomes, a teenager and she starts kind of taking over her management, it worries me. Thanks, girl. Yeah. Okay. And I am looking at the chat right now. So, hey, Dana. Dana. I always want to say Dana. Dana Banana. How are you, girl? How are you? Welcome. Oh, yeah. So, Cat in a Hat, is that your kitten? Is that your cat? Oh, thank you, Matt. My backyard. Set the record straight. Did you not get the link? Here, I'll do it again. There's a link. We will discuss if you call in. Okay, there's a link. It'll take you right here. And let's discuss. You don't even have to you don't have to have your video turned on. Oh yeah, Red Lotus, please. Anybody's welcomed. He's so sweet, Matt. And yes, it is a bang. Pina colada flavored energy drink. Good. Yummy. Yes, so anybody is welcomed. Well, then that's on you. What? Oh, yeah. Michelle, we were just discussing, and Red Lotus too. We both have children that are type 1 diabetic. So, oh my gosh. Oh, this is so Russian blue. Oh my gosh. Fact based. Is that your kitten? Oh, so cute. I got to put it up here. Look. Oh, that's precious. Oh. Well, then set the record straight. Then I'm going to. Oh, I'm so sorry, Michelle. Ugh. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh. Sleeping in my arms when I was asleep. Ugh. Oh, I'm so sorry. We've had my mom, we had some, family cats that recently passed. And then I had my hammy Charlotte pass. So, so I know, it's hard. I'm not going to debate you. Well, I don't know. That's just ridiculous. I'm not going to do that. Whatever. If you want to comment like on something that part of the discovery that I'm talking about, I don't know. Well, thank you, Set the Record, for showing a bit of empathy. So, shall we begin, everyone? But I'm so glad to see Matt here and Red Lotus, and of course, my frequent lemon heads. I don't think you have to, Red Lotus. Like, I think you just click the link and it'll bring you, because I don't think there's a mobile app yet for StreamYards, but it will just take you into your like phone internet browser, or if you're on a computer, you can do that too. Well, so wait, Connie, what? It's just so funny to me how when I look at your avatar, Connie, it's like, I swear it looks like the girl that plays on, she was on Revenge and she's on The Residence. Let me see if I can, shoot, sorry. No, it's playing back. Oh no. How do I get it to stop? How do I get it to stop? Okay, hold on. There we go, sorry. Okay, yeah. But I know it's breakfast at Tiffany's. Let's see. I have one of those, Michelle, myself. Well, you know what? That's what I was going to do right now, really quick, is just, hold on. Okay. Okay. Where is. I want to try. I mean, let me see. That one's kind of a good. I don't know. Okay, let me see if I can screen share this one. Oh, okay. Can you see that? That's her right there. Let me see if there's another. Like there's one kind of right there. So, I mean, sort of. What do you think? Hey, Katrina, what's up, girl? Oh, Michelle, wow. Don't be even half. That's right. How are you, Katrina? Can you see that, Connie? I brought it up. Yeah, you know what I mean? Kind of, sort of. Okay. What? Wait, what? Who do you think? What? Matt Sully's in the house. My other bodyguard. This thing is, guys, I swear, this USB not recognized. Fact based is my channel, mod bodyguard. Yes, set the record. Chris Watts was the father of the baby. What did you get addicted to, Tracy? Oh, what are you saying? Oh yeah, they're not calling in. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, no.
Hey, I'm here.
Hey,
Hey,
hey, how are you?
I'm good.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
So I kind of wanted to talk about, I guess, the type 1 because
Yeah.
my daughter is that too. So I know what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
You were talking about the Dexcom
Yeah.
and you're having problems with the insurance. Is that
Yeah. So because we get like 3 months, we get it in like they send 3 months supplies. And so it was time to send another shipment, and they were trying to bill it. And then TRICARE was saying, nope, well, we got to get the doctors sign off. So I had to call the doctors, and they did what they had to do. And I emailed back the supply company, and I haven't heard anything back. So, I mean, sometimes that happens, and it's like frustrating.
have you talked to the representative that deals with the Dexcom?
Yeah. So we've had to call because with the new, the G6. I don't know. I
Mm-hmm.
assume
Yeah.
your daughter has that.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all have had some issues with it failing sometimes, or
We did. We did.
then you have to keep that, and then you send it back, and then they'll send you another one. So it's
Right.
like, that's a little frustrating.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But she
So
finally got her new one in after fighting with them because insurance, I don't understand. They do, they
mm-hmm,
argue with you. And this
yeah.
is something that's not like wanted, it's needed.
Right,
I
exactly.
mean, they need
Right,
this because
exactly.
not only that, as young as they are, and my daughter's
Mhm.
18 now,
Right,
but she doesn't keep a hold of it like she should. She's
right,
a teenager, she eats what she wants, you know. So we get the alerts and the alarms when she gets under 50 or if she gets over 200. We have to remind her, hey, you're going too low, you're going too high, whatever. But at least we have that because of the Dexcom. We were allowed, we can get that information, and it at least alarms us and lets us know when she gets too low. Because
right.
we've had several times where either
Mods,
she's
time
gotten
her
way
out,
too low.
please. Sorry, hold on. Mods,
That's
time
okay.
her out, please. Her, set the record. Time them out.
I mean, we're talking about type 1 diabetes, set the record.
I
Really?
know they were
And
they were
all
like,
you're
"Oh,
talking
it's a
about
pity
is debate?
party." They were like,
Really?
yeah, they're like,
This is
"Sounds like a
something
pity party."
important.
Sounds like a pity.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Let me guess. You need money, don't you, lemon lady?" It's like, "Excuse me?" Like,
I
what? I
mean,
mean,
there's probably other parents out there that has to deal with this.
yeah.
We're not talking about that right now, set
Oh
the
my
record.
gosh. It's
We don't
like,
care about a debate.
I
We're
mean,
talking about children that have type
yes.
1 diabetes that can die from this.
Set the
I mean,
record, Katrina. Set the record.
come on. If you want to do a debate, get a hold of limonade later. This is
Yeah.
not the time. It's ridiculous.
Oh, set the record needs to be timed out. Um, yeah. So, yeah. I
At
mean,
8 years old. Okay, so are you? So does she have the Dexcom or no?
yeah. So, well, we have all. She has the pump that.
Okay,
So she has the Slim pump
right.
and the Tandem, and then that has the integrated Dexcom CGM,
All right,
and
good.
then she has a cell phone that the school provides because that way the nurse can check on her throughout the school day.
Okay,
And
just
so,
know though, some schools, it doesn't matter if they have type 1 or not. Sometimes they don't go by what they need to eat, or if they have to eat. If their sugar is low, you have to be very careful. And you need to make sure that you're filling out the paperwork that
oh,
is,
girl, I know.
yeah,
Let me
girl.
tell
I
you
mean,
something.
seriously.
Oh, I know, like, because my two oldest are special needs, so I'm all too familiar with,
Good.
IEPs, ARD meetings. No, like, I get them to give me, like, the fact that they pay for her to have a phone because we
Good.
can't afford it
Good.
because they have 1,000 kids and they have like 4 or 5 diabetics. So the nurse needs to be able to be monitoring them throughout the day. So, if I can get it, I will. And if it benefits her education, then, I get it for her,
Good.
you know?
Good. I mean, if
So,
they have to go to the bathroom, if they have to eat, if
oh,
they have to have
yeah.
a
Oh,
snack,
yeah.
they need to go by all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes an AEP, sometimes that's not enough. They don't take them seriously.
Yeah.
So
Oh, they know me
sometimes you have
here
to
very
go a little
well.
further. It
Oh, yeah.
depends though, if you're very, involved in what's going on. Sometimes they
Mm-hmm.
kind of let it go. My daughter, she's actually my stepdaughter. So her mom actually has custody of her. And during school years, we had limited access. So
Holy cow.
we had to kind of rely on her to do most of it. And I talk to her all the time. I've been there since she was 1. She's 18 now. I've
Okay.
been there every day,
Right,
but
right.
I still have limited access. And sometimes I have to
Yeah.
just kind of rely on what she does. And that
Mhm.
that limited paperwork, sometimes they don't take seriously. And
Yeah.
it's not notarized, it's not, within the law, so they don't go by it. Or, she's actually passed out at school at
Oh
least
my
3 times.
gosh.
Yeah. And it's scary. It's
Oh
really scary.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
life threatening. you know
Yeah. And this is good because this is part of the reason why, I don't just advocate for victims and true crime cases, but also, type 1 diabetics and helping navigate, because like you said, not everybody knows what their children, what their rights are and what they're
Right.
entitled to.
Right.
And I've sued 2 school districts. So
Well,
I'm very well versed in that. And
good,
what the
good. I mean, they have to do what's right for the children, though. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they have to take it seriously.
Exactly.
And sometimes, as my child got older, the insulin pump, the Dexcom was very,
Yeah.
it was hard for them. They didn't want to be different. They didn't want to be
Yes.
in the
Yes.
changing room, and they didn't want it to
Yes.
show. They didn't want to be that person that had
Right.
all the
Yeah.
drugs. So it
Yeah.
was hard for them to go along with everything, but they still needed to, but it was
Mhm.
hard. It was hard for them. And now she's 18, she's going to college now, so she's better now. But during that
Hi,
time, she
Mike. Hey,
didn't want it to
Brandy.
show.
Right.
And her being
Yeah.
8 years old, be ready. Be ready for PE or athletics, and she's got the Dexcom or she's got the insulin pump, and she's going to be very, very self conscious about all of that.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
It's going to
she
be hard.
yeah, she is, kind of that way. But we have a plan in place, and they check her blood sugar and everything before. And of course, if the blood sugar has been too high for so many hours, you got to check the ketones in the blood.
Right.
And,
Right.
I mean, it's just, yeah. And it's good to talk to another mom that understands and goes through this, and hopefully we can help other moms or dads that are dealing with this.
Right. And
You know?
I'm on the type 1 diabetic board.
Oh, this
Um,
is Red Lotus,
yeah.
Brandy. Hi, Brandy and
Hi,
Mike.
Brandy.
And they're so
So
sweet.
we're on the board for the type 1 diabetics. It's it takes a lot to get involved with everything because
Hmm.
again, the kids, they get very self-conscious. They don't want anyone to know. They
Right,
don't want anyone to know they're different.
right.
They want to eat what everybody else is eating. And like with my stepdaughter, she kind of got off the bandwagon. Like she wanted to
Hmm.
eat everything and just like make up with it with insulin. Hey, you know what? I'll just take more insulin. I'll eat ice cream and I'll just take more insulin. And I have to tell her, it's not what you're taking is synthetic. It's not what your body makes. Whether you're taking insulin or not, it's not what your body makes. It's still synthetic. So what you're doing is still not okay. It's dangerous. And a lot of their organs, it's hard on their organs. If they eat wrong, I mean, she's 8 right now. Your daughter is 8, right?
Yes.
When she gets to be like 14, 15, 16 years old, it's really hard because she's wanting to do what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
As a
Yeah.
teenager, she wants to go out, have Starbucks, she
Hmm.
wants to eat ice cream, she wants to have hamburgers, whatever. She doesn't want to be the odd one out. And so they think, okay, you know what? I'll just take more insulin, or my insulin pump will regulate, whatever. But that's how she has gotten, in DKA, is because she was not monitoring exactly what she was eating.
Right.
And it's synthetic. It's not the real insulin that your body makes.
Now,
And she has to
when
understand that.
Yeah, I mean, when we, got the crash course, because we were in Colorado at the time, we were living there for a couple of years, and they had a great place there, very comprehensive center. And we went from the PICU to there, got a crash course in like 8 hours of how to take care of our diabetic daughter. But they did tell us, because there's, throughout the years, they've been trying to figure out, you know, what's the best thing. And it used to be like no sugar or, but with
Right.
technology getting so precise, and there basically being an artificial pancreas, and it'll be closed loop very soon. um, they're just like, yeah, I mean, they can have that piece of cake, just bolus, just give her that extra. Now, do you want to eat cake
No,
every minute
no,
of the day?
no,
You
no. I
know?
mean, when they're in, when you're type 1 diabetic, you've got to rearrange your whole eating pattern. If there is a cake there and then there's sugar free, you need to choose the sugar free. And I know that's hard for them, but they have to realize their whole life is different from regular teenagers. It is. And it's hard for them to comprehend that because, again, they're given insulin and thinking, okay, this will regulate everything. I'll just take a little bit more and I can have this. No, that's not the right thinking. Um, they have to get on that track of choosing the diabetic option I mean, being in the hospital with her this last 3 or 4 months, it's been
Mhm.
hard. It's been really hard. She's been
Yeah.
in ICU a lot. And it's
Mhm.
because she's 18, we can't really tell her what to do, but she
Mhm.
has to make those better decisions. She has to understand she's not like regular teenagers, regular people. This is going to be a lifelong struggle, you know
Oh, yeah.
and
Always will.
and it's hard for her. I know it's hard. She is so frustrated with it, it's not even funny. But we have to support her and show her, just like anybody that's on like a diet, it's a lifelong change. Like, you have to change your whole life for it,
Mhm.
not just eat and drink whatever you want. You have to set a goal, and you have to choose the right things, because it's really hard on your organs. Like, again, your pancreas, your liver, your kidneys, all of
Mm.
it. It's really hard. Your heart, all of that. And it shortens your life. And they don't
Mhm.
understand that.
Yeah, because it'll
And it's
start.
sad. It's really
Yeah.
sad, because there's a lot of kids that are like that. But they have to understand, and the thing I tell her is, you know what? It could be worse. You
Yeah.
could have, MS. You could have
Mhm.
cancer. You could have, deal with what you have now, and just, go with it and do what you have to do. It could be worse. You always have to tell them it could be so much worse,
Oh,
and
yeah.
show them how much worse it could be,
Oh, yeah.
because they don't realize it. They don't. And
Yeah.
it's sad. It's really sad when, your family's eating whatever they want. And I don't do that around her. I make sure that we are very careful what we're eating, what we're drinking. So we're right there with her, because I don't want her to be alone. But she has to understand she's going to be in school and everybody else is eating what they want. She has to make the decisions.
Grace, we were wanting, but nowadays with, like I said, the technology and the Dexcom, but yeah, I knew about those dogs that could alert them if their blood sugar was getting too low. Um,
Yes,
but
yes.
yeah,
They're
so
really expensive.
yeah.
There's a very, very long waiting list for
Hmm.
those. We've tried that too. Um, but it may happen in the near future. But again, she's 18, and we've been trying for a diabetic dog since she was 14.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it's a very long waiting list. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm like I said, I'm glad that, you know, that that the technology is getting so much more precise and
Yeah. Yeah, the
you
Dexcom
know,
is a lifesaver. I'm
yeah,
telling you. Again,
it
she doesn't
is.
live with us. So we get alarms like every other night
Mhm.
saying she's going way, way too low.
Right,
So we
right.
call her. Like, even at 3 in the morning, I'm like, "Hey, Mackenzie, your blood sugar is way too low. Please wake up, eat something, drink
Right.
some juice, something to get you through the night, whatever." And she's on a pump,
Thank you,
but
Michelle.
but again, we kind of have to guide them until they
Mhm.
can get it themselves and realize what they have to do day by day and keep their blood sugar where it needs to be. Because if, I mean, again, she was alone at her house and she was
Oh,
on the phone with her friend, and
that's
she got down to 24.
oh my gosh.
And finally,
Everything.
her friend could not talk to her. She wasn't responding.
Mm.
So her friend called 911, thank God. And they came in there and they saw her. She was unconscious. She was
Oh my
way, way
gosh.
too low, but she was by herself,
Oh,
and
that's just
that's
scary,
scary. She could have
man.
died.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. She could have.
absolutely. And that's how scary it is. It
Mhm.
can get that low
Oh,
and you can
yeah.
die.
Yeah. They go into, like, a coma or,
Yeah,
um
absolutely.
and have you ever had to use a glucagon pen?
Oh,
Mm.
yes, yes.
We haven't
Yes,
had
we have.
to
We
yet.
once we had to.
Scares. I mean,
Once.
and what's up with that? I mean, literally, when most of the time when that's necessary, like they're already like in an emergency state, like they're probably going into like a seizure or shock, and it's like
Right.
you got to take this syringe, get the liquid, squirt it in, or get into the vial that has the little pill in it, mix it around, then take the syringe, put it back in, put it back in the syringe, take it
Yeah.
out, and then jam it into their thigh. you
Yeah.
know? And
And
all
you know
this time,
what?
you're, like, freaking out, like, "Oh my gosh."
You know what? To be honest, me and her mom are both RNs. So
Oh,
we
okay.
have a little, but normal, but regular mothers, fathers,
Yeah.
step parents, whatever, that's a lot to do. I mean, I mean,
Hi,
you
Hyperwave.
have to make sure it's almost like you need to go to training for it to
Mhm.
make sure that you know exactly what to do. Because if
Right.
you don't do it right, yeah, it's scary. They could die.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't get to that point, to be honest. It shouldn't. If they have an insulin pump,
Yes,
it should
Hyperwheel,
regulate
you
what
are.
they are taking in, what they're not getting. The insulin should kick in or back off, whatever. But she's had an insulin pump and she's been in ICU twice, even though her pump and maybe it wasn't regulating right. I don't know, but she's been in DKA at least twice in the last 4 months.
Oh my.
Yeah, and it's
That's
scary.
it is scary. Yes, Hyperreal, you are, and I like your avatar. We were just doing a little quick, we kind of both found out that we both have daughters that are type 1 diabetics. So we were just doing a quick chat about that. But we will be discussing getting back on that, you know, Watts Family Murder Discovery chain.
Yes, yes. I'm
So
gonna go. I just
thank
wanted
you
to
for
kind of
hopping
touch
up.
base with you,
Yeah.
Limonade, and
Thank
because
you.
let you know that you're not alone.
Thank
My
you.
daughter's a little older, and so I kind
Mhm.
of know what's coming for you, and I just kind of
Yeah,
wanted to throw in my input and let you know
yeah,
you're not alone. It's all hard. It's gonna be hard. It's hard for them. It's hard for for the parents. It's a struggle, but you have to work together and with the
mhm,
doctors and the insurance and everything else. And to be honest, it's frustrating. The insurance is not very kind to
mm,
type 1 diabetics. They're not.
yeah, yeah,
They do not want to pay for anything. I mean, we're paying for, I mean, the amount of money we're paying for insulin right now is beyond ridiculous just to keep her alive.
and,
That's
and
how
go over to
crazy
Canada,
that
and
is.
it's so much cheaper in Canada,
Yeah, I mean,
so
it's crazy.
hopefully but yeah, I really appreciate and anytime,
Thank you
um
for having me
of
on. And I
course.
just wanted you to know again that
Thank
you're
you.
not alone. I understand how you feel.
Thank you,
And, we're
sweetie.
all in this together.
That's
So,
right.
you know,
Thank you.
so I
Thank
hope
you
she
so
does really
much.
good. Okay.
Thank
All right.
you. Have
I'll
a good
talk to you
night.
later.
You.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Hi. Okay, well, hyper real. Welcome. Um, so yes, you are. Um, so okay, last night I think we were where do we got to we've watched the sentencing and we were looking over some of the discovery documents at the autopsies. Um, we we watched a very interesting video um, that Chris Watts had done, um, and I'll play it again, which it's so strange, and I'm not sure how many of you guys were still there at that point, but he he was talking. It was in 2012. He was doing this presentation about love, marriage, relationships, infidelity, and it's like, gosh, everything he was saying, he ends up saying later about what he. So, and just guys, remind me, because I've been going live every night. We got, I think we were watching the interrogations. We were watching the interrogation with the first confession um, from Chris. And we I think that's I think that's as far as we got last night. Um, and so let's see, hold on. Yes, thank you, Red Lotus. So where would you guys like to start this evening? Um, how many of you guys Did y'all see that video of Chris giving this presentation about relationships? Did y'all see that? I know a handful of you probably did not. And I can play that. Okay, Tracy, you saw it. Who didn't see that? Just let me know in the chat if you saw it or not. Yeah, I think that was yeah, I thought so too. Okay, so, but they didn't want to come on, and they're becoming disrespectful about the type 1 diabetes stuff. So they got timed out, I know for sure. So yeah, we were watching that. So I think we're going to definitely be listening to the second confession this evening. And I want to make sure that, we're okay. So like I said, we're on this journey of, just going back over this case and the discovery and the evidence with kind of, yes, I can play that. Let's see. Let me see. Let me pull that up. Okay, I'm trying to, okay, hold on. Library. Okay. Hold on. Okay, let me see. Just a minute. Okay, so let me start sharing this. Okay, somebody did request. What I can do is I can put that link to that video. What? And because a lot of people have seen that, and so I can just put that in so you can. Hold on. Let me press. Okay. So you can take a look at that and then join back in. How do I? Hold on just a minute. I want to get the link here. Let's see. Why is that? Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Hold on. Okay. No, I copy. Okay. I can do that. No, he didn't. Seriously. Like they're like, they're all talk. They're all talk. They just can't do it. They had the chance. Okay. So for whoever did not see that, there you go there. So, yeah, but it was just interesting and haunting to hear what he was talking about, because it was almost like foreshadowing and those things like we're not compatible anymore and this and that. Little mama, they were never going to come up here and debate me. So, let's see, Hyper, where are you, Hyper? Well, Hyper Real, it's pretty obvious that he's, a pathological liar. So, he kind of takes from like just ideas like what he did with Tammy, kind of giving him that scenario. We were watching that last night, like, her and how his brain, the wheels started turning. And he's like, oh, okay, well, maybe I can go with this. But he lies. But you can find the truths in what he says. But I do not believe that the girls were still alive. I think that the reason why he said that is because Armchair Detective was so adamant about the shadow that he heard about it. And then when they came to interview Chris again, he did that as like an FU to the Rusak family. Yeah. I know exactly, Kim. Yeah, Ronnie was just, they started shit talking like immediately about Shanann, even before Chris officially confessed. What do you mean, little mama? Because I mean, when you watch, I mean, Kim, I mean, like I said, this is a safe place. I welcome different perspectives, but my my mission is to stick to the truth, to debunk the conspiracies and lies like Frank pleaded to the public to stop. And like I said, stick with the truth. And there's just no evidence whatsoever that NK had a damn thing to do with anything, everything has been, made up by Mary Marlowe and Armchair, and it's just, and now Armchair is on the whole, back to the whole blowing up, for like they were gonna potentially blow up the work site, and it's like, what evidence proves that? Again, there's none. There's it's speculation. Let's see. I mean, first of all, you can see in the emails. What? Yes, I do. I mean, I know the facts of the case, the evidence, and the discovery. Everything else beyond that is speculation. Everything else beyond that comes from your imagination, right? That's not truth. Okay. So, yeah, we can all make up all kinds of different scenarios in our heads that are not based on any evidence, like Mary Marlowe does in Armchair Detective. But there are stone cold facts in this case. And there's no proof that NK had anything to do with it. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, like I said, it's like, that just makes, if you think about him doing like, as he said he did in the second interview, makes him even more of a monster. But he did that because, again, pathological liar. He's heard this new conspiracy because he has this little minister come in twice a month, and his family's in contact with him. And they're telling him, they're in the groups, they're telling him what's going on, what's the newest thing, that's being said. Yeah. Oh, thank you, fact-based. Yes, what's your question, Hyperreal? Well, little mama, I hate to break this to you, but Set the Record Straight does not have any facts in this case. Somehow they dissect it and then they turn it and twist it into some sick narrative. Yes, Hyperreal. Yes. Of course. I never said I have inside information. Nope, never said that. No, I mean, she didn't live that far away. And she had to pass to get to work. So, and again, like I said, there is video surveillance. Their neighbor their neighbor Nate had a camera that pointed right next door to their house. Okay. And the Wattses also had a doorbell cam that had a very good view of the front of the house. Okay, you could see Chris's truck right there. You could see to the left a little bit. So if there was, and there's a lot of doorbell cams in that neighborhood, there would have been footage that was caught. So again, when do these people come and go? I mean, tell me that. You know what I mean? Like, you can call in Hyper Real if you'd like. Oh, I'm sure she's one of the groupies from, Set the Record Straight, or which they do not set the record straight. Okay. They set the record skewed. Then peace out. Yeah, we're here to go over the facts and evidence. We're not here to speculate and create some, Stephen King-esque kind of horror, situation like Mary does in Armchair. I mean, and again, like, if you see when the body cam, the day, the 13th of last year, when they came to the house and they go out there and they are looking around. I mean, there was no privacy in their backyard. Their neighbors were like, "What's going on? Hey guys." I mean, out on the deck. I mean, somebody would have saw something. So, I mean, again, there's no evidence to base this. And they went around and canvassed every house. They talked to all the neighbors. They saw all their footage that they had available. Betty, the next door neighbor, confirmed that that was her car that drove off through her, straight out of her driveway as Chris Watts got into his truck and backed it up into his, like, what the heck? I'm verbally paralyzed right now. Driveway. So again, there's no red car. There was no other car. Yeah. Yeah, no. What I see is a witch hunt after a woman that, yeah, she's guilty of sleeping with a married man, but she was lied to just like everybody else was in Chris's life. Shanann and the girls were gone for 5.5 weeks. He was able to come and go, spend the night with her, go on little trips, be on the phone 24/7 with her. He was like, they left, she left me. It's over. We're getting a divorce. We're selling the house. So again, we have to remember that. Okay. She was lied to. She was misled. Let's see. And a lot of people, they found no fibers in their lungs. So he had smothered them with Celeste. So we were looking at the autopsy report. Let me see. I believe let me see, hold on. I think it's about like 1,000. Just a minute. Let me get to it. I can bring that up. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me share. Okay. Thing's a pain in the ass. Okay, there we go. Okay. Oh, I went a little too far. This is okay. Hold on. I think I could have sworn this is what they had said, but I guess it wasn't. Does anybody know what page the autopsies are on because, let's see, hold on. I see, hold on. Hold on, I cannot see anything. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Wait, hold on, let's see. Okay, Okay, wait, let me look back at the chat. There's no CPS report. That was, or it was fake. I'm trying to get back to the right sensible crime. Like what I've been showing and talking about, family annihilators typically do it alone, because most likely either they do it and they kill themselves because they're just, some kind of financial strain or some kind of psychosis or something, and they just feel like, oh, we can't go on anymore, or it's because of selfish reasons, like Scott Peterson and I mean, you could almost say like Josh Powell did. I mean, he got away with it, but as long as he could get away with it. But then when he knew he couldn't, then he took him and his children out. But yeah, typically name a case, okay? Like, name a case. Yeah, so I don't know, and I don't care, little mama. So, but does anybody know? Yeah. What the heck? Hold on. Why is this? Hold on. I hear music. Like, where is it coming from? Okay, but I'm trying to see if anybody, Granny Fanny, oh Lord, Granny Fanny. So does anybody know where in the Discovery, what page? I'll keep looking. I know we looked at it last night. But just, you have to think. The heck is going on? I'm gonna have to figure out where that's coming from. You have to think about it. It's like, for crying out loud, why in the hell would it take, 4 or 5 co-conspirators to kill a pregnant woman and her children? I mean, come on. Okay. It's like Mary is trying to tie Manson into the situation. Quite frankly, I think that she talks about how she sees herself in NK. She's constantly projecting onto her, doing basically what she would do, what Mary would probably do in the situation. But I mean, there's just not an ounce of evidence. It's all what's been made up in people's minds. It's like, and again, if there were more people involved, they would be arrested by now. Okay. Like, come on. It's just ridiculous. Hold on. Okay, where is... I'm trying to go look over on Okay, let's see. Let's see. Looking at this. Okay, I'm sorry, I cannot see the chat. Okay, I gotta take down the, okay. So does anybody know what page? Can y'all see that okay? Or do I probably need to make it bigger, just a little bit bigger. Okay. Okay, I've got to figure out where this music is coming from. This is... Hold on. Okay. Oh no. Guys. Do y'all hear that noise? Do you hear that? Do you hear that? I've heard this before. It's weird. Do y'all hear that? It sounds like somebody's kind of hitting like a glass. Do y'all hear that? That's so strange. Okay. Like, do y'all have the page? Little Mama, she's probably associated. I'm gonna have to see where this music is coming from. Okay, thank you. Sorry, Brandy. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Okay, there we go. That's so weird. Hold on. Okay, yeah, I can remember. Okay, okay, so I'll make sure y'all can see. Okay, hold on. Can y'all see it okay? Right, Sam. Oh my gosh, Miss Menza. Seriously. Miss Menza, like, why don't you stop going around acting like a perpetual victim and stop victimizing other people, like striking my channel for there was no reason for you to strike my channel, copyright strike, you know? Ridiculous. You should be ashamed of yourself for what you say about Shanann. It's despicable. And then what you say about other people. Okay. Damn straight, Miss Menza. They were out of control, as usual. Per the norm, I invited them to come up. As a matter of fact, Miss Menza, would you like a link to come up here and debate about this case, kind of talking about your perspective? Would you like to come up? Because she blocked, little mama, she struck my main channel. Okay. And, some of her views are just out there. All right. But she struck my main channel, gave me a copyright strike. But I am offering, Menza, for you to come on up here and let's talk about the facts of the case. A civil, respectful conversation. And it's Shanann, Miss Menza, Shanann. Okay. Say it with me, Shanann. Okay. He doesn't deserve to call Shanann his wife anymore. Yeah, I'm sorry, Hyperreal, yes. Which can you? Okay, yes. And I was looking up, hold on. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm looking back. Okay, Hyperreal. Okay. Okay. So, and what I was doing is I was going back trying to find in the discovery. Hello, Miss Jane. It's Miss Jane. How are you, Miss Jane? Hey, everybody, it's Miss Jane. Okay. So we were looking at that. So you were talking about the fibers, right? I think that was gone, Hyper. Okay, so that's what I was doing right now is I was looking, we were getting there right now. Can y'all see this okay? Okay, I believe this is Bella. Yes, okay. So let's see, is this still, yeah, this is still Bella. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Okay. All right. So I think that's where if I'm not mistaken. Was that, I'm trying to make sure. I can't tell if that's. Is this for. Okay, Bella. Let's see. Okay, no, that one definitely. Okay. So this is where Bella starts, where they, took the dead blood work. Oh my God. There is some music playing and I don't know. Okay. So we're getting there. Hyper real. Okay. Okay. Hello. Did I put the link? In for Mensa? Did I put the link in there? Because I'll invite her and give her a chance, and then otherwise block her mods, block her ass. Okay. Okay, this is your chance, Mensa. Like, step up. Don't be a coward. You want to talk a big game. You want to do all these videos, like a million videos a day. We're tired of hearing it. Okay, you were saying about the fibers, right? Is that what you were talking about? Hi, Twiggy. How are you, Twiggy? Miss Jane, I'm so glad to hear Miss Jane. Okay. See, it's like when channels like this have the chance to panel up, they're too scared because they know they'll get schooled and they'll look like a fool. Oh, okay. I don't care. Be gone. Okay. So, I mean, you can unblock. I doubt she'll panel up, but okay. First, if you don't mind, guys, there is some music playing. And Miss Jane, would you come up here and talk? I would love for you to talk. Would you come up here and talk about the case? We're kind of going back over everything. I'm not, Tracy, I'm inviting her up to come and speak. She doesn't want to. She's right. So, Miss Jane, I would love for you to come up and talk. The link's in the chat. Guys, really quick, I need to run and see what music is playing. Okay, hyper real. Okay. Can somebody please? Okay, so all you have to do, Miss Jane, and I'll put it again. So click on this link right here that I just put, right? Hold on, hyper. And you just click on it. There's no mobile app anyways. So from your phone, you click it and it'll bring you right here. I think you can have the video on or off. You can put whatever name you want up there and she'll be right in here. You guys, I'm going to go. Okay. Hyper real. Like, as you can see, there's a million things going on. And everybody, Mom, Shelly, we were inviting her up. She started being rude and being annoying. So if she doesn't want to come up, woman up and talk about things, then she needs to be gone because she was causing problems. So it's really easy. Yeah, because they were in here being rude. Oh, I see you, Miss Jane. Hold on. Oh, hello, Miss Jane. How are you? So good to have you here. Can you hear? Can you hear?
No.
Hi. Okay. So, Jane, like I said, there's some music playing in my house. So I'm going to be right back. So you can talk. Feel free. You can talk and I'll be right back. Okay.
Can you hear me? Hi. Okay. I've never done one of these before. And I can't see the chat either. Yes. Hi, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, cool. Now I can see the chat. It's delayed. So when I talk, it's delayed about 5-6 seconds. I've only just joined, so the last thing I heard was about the fibres. So I'm not sure what you were talking about before then.
Okay. Sorry, I'm back. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Okay, what's going on? Okay. Okay. Sorry, I just ate some gummies. Okay. So, what is going on here? Hyper real. Yeah, I mean, there's multiple people in the chat, and that's why it's hard to have questions and stuff, long questions. So, again, what is it that you're asking? No, Hyperreal, I just had to go turn some music off that I could hear.
Yes,
So
Brent, there is a big delay when you speak. It doesn't come up for about 15 seconds.
me? Are you talking about for you? There's a delay when I talk? Is that what's going on in the chat, guys? Am I delayed? Jane, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but there's a delay when I answer you.
Oh, okay. Okay. It's like, there's so much going on in the chat. It's like, come on. Okay. So I'm just okay. Can you please wait for my question? Okay, that's fine. Yes, but I do have 4 children that require my services at times. So okay, we can look. We can play the video. The body can't. Like, is it from the 13th? that were the 14th? I need to know that. So we're looking at this. Hold on, I'm trying to make this bigger. I think everybody can see it. Okay. So we're just looking at, and you can see, right, Jane?
I think that's better. Can you hear me now without a delay?
Oh yeah, I can hear you. You can hear me?
So Hyperreal's asking a question and wanting an answer. What was your question, Hyperreal?
Okay. I don't know. I Hyperreal, like I'm here, like I brought it up on the screen here. We're looking at the discovery where it talks about the autopsy. Now we can watch the video of the body cam and like, um, everybody's trying to help you. So, I don't, people, I don't know why
The
people.
autopsy showed that there were no fibers in their lungs, and they also said that the crude oil could have broken down those
Right.
fibers
Oh,
if there
yeah,
were any in the lungs.
definitely. Definitely. Yeah. And that's the thing, being submerged in that crude oil. Mm, just
And Sensible Crime just said too, like to block the nose and the mouth with a blanket and a hand. I don't know that you'd get many fibers.
right. Exactly. Exactly. So you want to see the part. What? Okay. Hyperreal, you want to see the part of the body cam from the police when they look in the Cece's room? We can look at that. What?
Okay, crude oil is a preservative. I thought that it was, I didn't know that.
No, it's not a preservative. I don't think so. I don't think it's a preservative. Cat ma'am, hello. Oh my gosh. Okay, there, I feel like, hi Denise, how are you? Yeah, so oh my gosh, I think they're a troll. I think Hyperreal is a troll. But have at it, Jane. They said that you might be able to answer it since I'm not patient enough.
About the fibers, there was no fibers found in the girl's lungs in the autopsies. And then they've also said that any fibers could have been broken down by the crude oil. So it was inconclusive. They didn't find fibers in the lungs.
Let's see. I'm looking up the body cam footage. Let's see if we can't see this. Okay, what is this? Okay. Now I need to know if it's like the first day, the second day. Was it when they went with the dogs? That's what I need to, let's see. Hi, pugs. Okay. Yeah, Brandy, I think that well, Hyper, I'm sorry. It's troll-like behavior, We're trying. There are people in the chat trying to help you. I don't know. I'm just like I'm trying to help you, like, I just don't understand. Like I'm saying I'm trying, I'm like, I'm going to share the video of the body cam. Let me know which one, if it was the first day or was it the second day when they came back with the dogs. That's what I need to know. And how are you doing, Miss Jane?
I'm good. I've just had my hair done, so it's really strange when you get your hair done and they don't do it the way that you like it.
Oh, it looks cute. It looks really cute. But also, like, some of the videos that you post about, your experience with your narcissist and stuff, I understand because I deal similar, with my soon to be ex. and it's hard. It's
Yeah,
heartbreaking.
I know.
And so, let's see. I looked up, and crude oil is a preservative. Okay, hold on. I don't know.
I thought crude oil was highly toxic, like it
Yeah, it is
breaks
like,
everything down.
yeah. I mean, it might preserve something, but I don't think it preserves human flesh or, bodies, you know what I'm saying? And I think it was rather the fumes. They were saying the fumes coming off of it. They couldn't even use the flash from a camera. Looking at trying to look in there, to take pictures, trying to see the girls in there. Hold on, I'm looking up about crude oil. Let's see. Okay. Um, so yeah, and I think Chris had even said that he had gotten a little bit on him. So, it made him really sick. And let's see.
Somebody also said the blanket was like a minky blanket, like a really soft blanket that wouldn't have a lot of fibers as well. More like a fabric than a knitted blanket as well.
Yeah, let's see. I'm looking up. Let's see. I'm just like, it's weird to. It's like it's looking. Yeah, it attacks the bodies. Like, it's toxic.
I'm not
And
sure. I don't know what to believe as far as whether both the girls were alive. My intuition tells me that just Bella was for some reason.
yeah, I feel like that. I mean, I really do feel like that they were all killed at the house. You know, and but I think that being the pathological liar that Chris was, in my opinion, I'm not a psychologist, but from what I've been researching, like probably on the psychopath spectrum. Um, yeah, he's removed from human emotions and feelings, and he first confession, he took whatever he heard and whatever they gave him. And the second one, I really feel like with that whole hype with Armchair saying, "Oh, there's a shadow. Maybe they were still alive." And he heard that and he was like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll go with that." And then that was like a big FU to the Ruseks for calling him an evil monster and everything at the sentencing, because he was really angry. You could see it in his face. I mean, we watched that the other night and it was pretty crazy. Hold on, I'm looking up something. I really don't think, hold on, what? Hold on. Okay. Well, this is interesting. I mean, talking about, what happens with decomposition. Hold on. Let's see. Uh, yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Really, from what I've been seeing, crude oil is extremely toxic. DNA evidence was retrieved. Yes, at the request of the public defender. they asked to swab their necks and take, the finger, just clippings, finger clippings, fingernail clippings, and of course with Cece, hers was degloving with the fingernails. Bless her. But I mean, they had requested it, but I mean, and they had been submerged. The evidence would have most likely been gone. You know, um, right.
Yeah,
So,
Denise says that there wasn't enough oil in Bella's lungs for her to be alive. That was so creepy. Just to have any amount of oil
mm,
in her lungs was really creepy.
well, I think because, with her, like I said, bless her, rest her soul, Bella having the injuries that she did to her face, because she fought back for her life. Her lip was exposed, it
Mm,
was hanging off, probably mouth open. Um, and, when she was dropped in there it's very likely that the oil could have seeped in. I mean, it would have anyways. I mean, I guarantee, like, both, I don't know, their mouths were probably still open because I mean, like, body, like, and also the eyes. I mean, when people die, like, their mouths stay open and their eyes stay open, and, I mean, it's just so sad. Um, well, he submerged them in crude oil, that's kind of why. Um, I
but
but
it's strange that Cece didn't have any in her lungs, which like would you'd probably think that Bella had only just been smothered and then put in, so she still could have had those reflexes to like gulp, or maybe that's what it was. But yeah, it's really creepy.
I'm looking at the, autopsy right now. Bite wound to the tongue. The frenulum was torn, of upper lip. Let's see. Let's see. Stomach, GI. Let's see. Green. Let's see. Visible green, black fluid. Something oil. Um, Asphyxiation due to smothering. Um, let's see. The abrasions from the buttocks were from being, shoved into that 8-inch hole into the hatch. I mean, that what they called, I guess, the thief hatch. Oil, water, and sludge debris in the stomach. Let's see, blunt force trauma of the frenulum and gingival mucosa of the maxilla. So especially too, right here, that the gums were, there was trauma to the gums in her mouth. Another way for the crude oil to seep in. Uh, and I mean, I don't think it wasn't in her lungs. So if it would have been in her lungs, then that would have shown that she she inhaled it. It wouldn't be in her stomach per se. It would be in her lungs. So, there, from what I'm seeing and what I've heard, there was no oil in her lungs. It was in her stomach,
Mm,
which that would make sense if the mouth was open, and she wasn't breathing anymore,
yeah.
that it could be, it would, yeah.
But, you know, if he did the same as he said in his confession, that he smothered one child, took that child up and put them in the hole, did that one at a time, but Cece didn't have that in her stomach, so that sort of makes you think, had she been deceased for longer?
Let's see. Now I'm gonna get to Cece in a minute. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna. Let's see. Yeah, so with her severe trauma to her mouth, I mean, that was okay. Let's see. Just kind of looking at that. And can y'all see it okay? Like, I want to make sure that y'all can see that. Let's see. So it says there are no abnormal fluid accumulations or adhesions in any of the body cavities. Let's see. Nearing atherosclerosis. Okay. Wait. On what? Okay. No. Okay. Okay. Respiratory.
Because apparently when people first pass, it sounds disgusting, but they still like burp and gulp and just do like natural body functions sort of. And I think she probably had just been smothered and put in that hole straight away, and probably just not inhaled, but that's how it got into her tummy. It just sounds disgusting though.
Yeah. So it says right here with the respiratory system, the right and left lungs weighed 160 and 140 grams respectively and show normal septation. The lung parenchyma is modeled pink tan to purple. There are no masses or gross areas of consolidation. The trachea and mainstream bronchi are unremarkable. There are no foreign bodies or masses. The pulmonary arteries are free of thromboemboli, like blood clots. So there was no oil in the lungs. So we're looking here. The esophagus has a uniform diaphragm. The stomach contains approximately 75 milliliters. So that's not very much, right? Yeah, milliliters is not very much. 75 milliliters of viscous green black fluid, which is suggestive of oil and particulate matter from the oil tank which she was in. So yeah, so it was in her little tummy. Let's see. So looking at that, so they took blood and they collected blood from the peripheral veins, heart and lungs, and from the liver. And they swabbed face prior to washing, anterior neck, face, bilateral hands, oral, vaginal, fingernail, and DNA blood spot card. So that was Cece. So now, excuse me, Bella. Now this is Cece coming up. So let's just see what it says about her. Let's see. And right now I cannot see the chat, so I apologize for that. And I don't know, Jane, if you see anybody that has a question or whatever, just let me know. Let's see.
I think I hear Cat, ma'am. I agree. For some reason, I think that Cece was smothered at home, and I think Bella, because also their behaviour, he would have been finding it hard to control the two of them in the truck, and there was only one shadow, but I know that that's not a very reliable piece of evidence. But that's how I feel too, that I think it was just Bella alive in the truck. That's just what my intuition tells me. But
let me just, I'm looking up this really quick. What? Let's see. Mm, Sorry, whoops. Okay.
and then Denise says, I think he killed Shanann and the girls that night. I don't believe, like a lot of people thought that maybe he'd killed them before she came home, but that would have been really risky, you know, in case she didn't come home or something happened. I don't think he would have done that, you know.
Yeah, I think he killed her in her sleep, and Cece was asleep, so he killed her, and then Bella had woken up, and that's why she fought. She was the only one that actually fought for her life. Let me see here. Hold on, I'm looking up.
And he was such a coward. I think, even though he's got no emotions or feelings, but I do think he would have struggled to smother Bella, because Bella was so much more aware. I think that's why she had a lot more injuries.
I think she was just awake, and I feel like Cece was kind of Bella was more of a mama's girl, and, Cece was probably more his favorite, and I really felt like he, was aggressive, if anything, aggressive with Bella. Just there was something in the way that he talked about when he was talking to the police, describing, the girls, and just how Bella was just, always wanting her mom, even the night that, he promised, her that she was coming home and everything. Let's see, hold on. Let's see. I want to look up this. Okay, hold on. I'm looking up this. Okay, it's like postmortem discoloration of the skin. So blood pooling. Purple discolorations. Okay. So blanching. Okay. Okay. So I guess polar. So blanching is when, you can touch a part of the skin and it turns white, but then it will come back to normal color. That's blanching. So will turn white when applying pressure within the first 12 hours. And let's see. Oh, wow, this is interesting. Hold on. I'm trying to see. Pale marks, dermal pressure. Excuse me. Oh, great. Well, I was trying to see what that, because it looks like right here at the neck, on CC, there's something. Let's see. Let's get down here. Let's see.
Shelley 3 says he loved his kids and cared for them. From all witnesses' accounts, just don't understand why. I don't believe he had deep feelings. He was going through the motions with his children.
Right. Exactly. Looking at, the evidence, hearing accounts of Chris, even his own, when in the second interview, when he's, basically saying F you to the agents, talking about his little story from when he wrote that. When he was in elementary school, he wrote such a convincing story that they went to China, that his teacher believed him and wouldn't stop, wouldn't. She was like, no way that you were lying, or no way, there's too much details, which I'm going to play that, the interview, but I just wanted to look. at this really quick about Cece. Do y'all hear that? Like it's like this little ding. It stopped. Did you hear that?
Tracy Angel said everybody always calls criminals psychopaths or sociopaths, and I think that's too easy and just BS. In layman's terms, maybe, but not clinically. Yeah, I don't know. I agree, like, not all criminals have that pathology, but I don't know. It'd take a pretty disturbed person to be able to pull off those murders, you know?
Yeah. And, I've been following this case for a year, and I'm very, I'm naturally, I love psychology, and I have forever. And I always want to understand people, why they do the things they do, not just murders, just people in general. So by looking, researching, um, seeing the different personality disorders, cluster Bs, narcissism, psychopaths, there's factors. And so it's kind of a spectrum. And there's actually a neuroscientist that found out he himself is a psychopath, but he has a family and kids. But doesn't mean you're going to kill. It just means that you lack empathy, and your limbic system, which is your kind of emotional check-in with your thoughts, is basically non-existent. Like they just make decisions and they don't have to check in with their limbic system like we do. So that looked pretty obvious with Chris. It's like, sure, okay, I'm just gonna kill him and just go on to work, you know? So, and just his lying, antisocial behavior, his emotional disconnecting, starting with his, family, when he was 18. And then he did it again when he got married to Shanann. Didn't have any problem cutting them off. And I know what it's like for it to be emotionally, my husband did that to me. I didn't understand what that cycle was, that valuing, disvaluing, discarding, and I knew exactly what Shanann was feeling right before she was murdered. It is a heartbreak that the person that you love all of a sudden just turns a switch off, and you're no longer important. You no longer feel that tangible love. And a lot of times they don't even have to say anything. It's just a switch. And so, yeah, I see all of that coming together. So, and they wear masks. He was going through the motions, and Shanann, he's also, dependent personality disorder. I think he was officially diagnosed with that. And he has the need for a dominant female in his life, but only one. First, it was his mom, then it was Shanann, but he only had room for one. And then it was NK. But he became obsessed with Shanann when they were together. And he did the same thing when he went on and found NK, so there's patterns there, there are patterns that you can see. Let's see. Okay, here's they're not all.
He didn't seem to do the devaluing. It looked like it was the last 6 weeks, as soon as he got into the relationship with the mistress, because prior to that, there sort of is no evidence, I guess, like through text messages or anything, that he didn't seem to be verbally abusive or, we don't know the truth, but he didn't have a pattern like you're saying with your partner and mine, where there's a distinct pattern with their behaviour where they get worse and it escalates and they, do all these like gaslighting and all those wretched behaviours. He didn't seem to do that up until those 6 weeks before he murdered her. That's what seems strange to me, that he would seem so compliant up until, he found the mistress and found a replacement and then just got rid of his family.
Well, yeah, and that's interesting. And I'm glad you brought that up. See, what I kind of see is that Chris Watts was definitely a dependent personality disorder. It first was his dad. They were like they were best friends when when he was in school, when he was living at the house. He never was that close with his mom, but she was very strong female presence, dominant. But he, with these kind of personality disordered people, they have their favorite people, their favorite person. And with Chris, I think that with having that dependent personality tendency, there wasn't really necessarily that cycle. But when he was done, and he moved on to the next thing that he was dependent on, he did the cutoff. He emotionally disconnected, and I think that's more of the spectrum of being a psychopath. And so, and there's and like there's a spectrum with psychopaths, and there's the grandiose ones. Those are the ones, larger than life, and then there's the ones that are very antisocial, very insecure. So it's definitely he didn't really show a lot of emotions in general, but yeah, I think it was a combination, but I mean, if you look back at like Scott Peterson, even her parents would not even have thought that the only thing that they kind of picked up on towards the end of towards the end was that because he was already having an affair, he wasn't interested in the baby. So there you go with that emotionally disconnecting, still keeping somewhat of a mask on, but kind of the same thing. He was ready to shed his old life and go with his new life. And he was a huge liar too.
Scott Peterson was, you could tell straight up, like he didn't fool me. He was slimy and didn't behave like Chris Watts just didn't fit that character. But Karen Timms, if she's still in the chat, she's a qualified person. I wasn't sure what her opinion was. Because Jamie, if you look at dependent personality disorder, the research shows, I don't know what the percentage is, but it's almost non-existent for dependent personality disordered persons to commit murder. They're not the sort of crimes that they commit. So it's more, your cluster B, your narcissism, psychopathy, sociopathy. That's what's so such a brain twister with Chris Watts, because the cluster C personality disorders are not linked with these sort of crimes. And apparently that was what he was diagnosed with, was the dependent personality disorder.
Right.
Which doesn't fit the criminal profile.
Well, obviously, he's personality disordered. And there is a lack of, Chris was never known to be a really warm person. He was very antisocial. His sister, Jamie, was the popular one. He was always ready to get out of the school as fast as he could, but she was the one that lingered around for a while saying bye to everybody. So, there's signs that there just wasn't quite, the emotional when you were his favorite person, or when he depended on you, you felt probably you felt on top of the world, and he depended on you. But when he moved on, it was, it was that cutoff emotionally, and discarding and moving on to the next one, and so obviously he had to have some on the spectrum of psychopathy. He had to be there somewhere, to be capable of. And even they said that, when he was in the, Weld County jail, even though people were yelling at him, and I wish they would have kept his ass there, but, like telling him to kill himself, like the guards just noted how calm he was, how he just got a book and, was just reading and not really affected. I mean, he's like a chameleon, he can kind of like kind of just deal, and that's normal people could not do that. Okay. and that's more of a psychopath. Like, they don't have that, fight or flight type of situation. Let's see. Hold on. I'm kind of looking back through the
Your
comments.
fact base said he's passive aggressive. I want to hear what fact base has, to make a video on her opinion, because she's really clued in about Chris
Yeah.
Watts.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Let's see. I have to make a video. I think you'd be surprised. Possibly see Christopher. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, I love fact based. Let's see, what was you saying? Yeah, they are difficult to detect. And that's the thing. They are very difficult, because they are good. I may share, that video. It's very, very interesting with this neuroscientist. He's well known. They were studying the brains, of serial killers, doing pet scans, trying to see, okay, about psychopathy. Okay, is it genetic? Does the brain show? And they found yes, but they had to have some controlled brain scans. And so his was one of them. And lo and behold, he was a psychopath, but he has a family, he's high functioning. And it's very interesting to hear. He's more of a grandiose one, but, they're very good. They're not empathetic, and they're not like tuned into the emotions, but they're very much they're like chameleons, and they study the people and their reaction, and they do what they think that they need to do to keep their mask on for whatever situation. And so, yeah, they're kind of masters in that regard.
I think he's a covert narcissist. That's what I
Yeah,
think.
it's all very, especially now, especially since all of this happened. He definitely has things. Definitely, you could just, even in the interrogation, when, like, the first confession, he was just very concerned about himself, not about, once he confessed, he was just more concerned about himself, and not upset or sad at all that, that his, family was, dead and rotting away on his job site. He was just like saying things like, well, I guess I won't see the light of day for a while, or, like, I wonder what they're thinking about me, or, just things like that. Just very concerned more about that, or not really being like, I'm so sorry. I cannot believe I did this. He's never said that.
Tracy Angel, she's made another point about that it's just too easy and that we've all got evil in us, and that's what's scary. When I had my hair done today, every time I go to the hairdressers, I mean, she knows everything about this case because I keep talking to her about it, and I ask her opinion. And today, I said to her, do you think that, let's just say that let's just say that he was a victim and he'd been overpowered and, everything, all the victim statements that he's made, is it possible for somebody to just snap and, it was a means to an end for him to get rid of his family in order to move on with his mistress without all the, financial difficulties and dealing with his children and that sort of thing. So,
Right.
like Tracy Angel makes a good point. Or, can just anybody do this when they're at their end of their rope, or, they want what they want? And in this case, he wanted to be with his mistress. Was he
Yeah.
just evil,
Right. I mean, I think, and that's the whole point of true crime, is to understand the psychology and understand how certain people are capable of such horrific things that most of us are not. And just kind of understanding what led to that, what led to them doing this, right? From looking back at their childhood all the way until the, murders or whatever, happened. So that is really what true crime is, the psychology of everything. So it was definitely him wanting to shed his old life. And like channels like Armchair Detective and Mary Marlowe, they're both on this whole, like they base nothing on facts, all on speculation. And they're both saying about this, Chris, well, and NK, because, being the Charles Manson she was, right, having all this power over people, they were planning on blowing them up. But it's like, come on. I mean, and again, where's the evidence? And that's ridiculous, like, come on. Like, it's just, I don't know. I don't understand how people believe that, like, I think I had a point to that. And I think, did I get to my point? Because I'm reading the chat at the same time and I'm like, I had a point with saying that. And there was a point. Did I get to my point? Let's see. Yeah, right. Tracy. Yeah, I think I got to my point with that. So, yeah, you've known psychopaths and psychopaths who committed, and yeah, and not all people that, criminals, not all of them are psychopaths. Some of them may be just antisocial personality disorder, or what's commonly referred to as sociopaths. And sociopaths are not serial killers. Like, they can be, but people use that term to like loosely. Well, Michelle, here's the thing. Like, for me, I feel like that, trust me, like, I like everybody else, we're like, oh gosh, she's a whore or whatever with NK. But once you start really looking at the facts and seeing how much of a pathological liar Chris was, and how, he doesn't care really who he hurts. He's shown that over and over again with his family multiple times, cutting them out, just like doing what he did to Shanann the weeks leading up, like that. Those are all evidence. And he was also, he lied and he kept everything bottled up inside. It wasn't like he was talking to people saying, like, what should I do about this? And NK was lied to. She was led to think that he was getting a divorce. And there are plenty of situations. There are some situations where, two people that are married don't ever get a divorce because it's expensive, it's pain. A lot of times they just go their separate ways. And sometimes there's situations where the mistress or the other person, they didn't know what was going on. And even though there may have been some flags, some red flags, they ignored it because they were in lust and love. They wanted to believe that, no, I mean, they wouldn't be lying to them. And so, yeah, and Chris even told and admitted that, because NK asked him, why didn't you tell me that your wife was pregnant? And he's like, well, I was afraid that if I did, you wouldn't date me. So, he knew what he was doing. Like, he was lying and manipulating. So I don't think it's fair, based on the evidence and what we know about this case. She's been cleared. Yes, she slept with a married man. She believed that, like, they were getting a separation, divorce. Sure, there was some selfishness there, but she does not deserve any extra amount of hate or this witch hunt based on nothing. There's no evidence. Give me some evidence. Give me
I
some.
don't believe she was involved in the murders, but I don't agree. As like I have to disagree with you in that I know you think that she was a victim, but I don't. I think she knew that he was married, and he said he was going through a divorce, but she was stalking them on Facebook. So it didn't to look up Shanann
Right.
and the way that they were still living, it was really obvious that they weren't going through a divorce. Like I thought she was very manipulative. Yeah, I agree with Tracy Angel. She was very manipulative and she just really wanted him and was going to do whatever she could to get him. I don't believe she deserves, to be accused of being involved or anything like that. But she did get caught in some pretty skanky, deceptive behaviours and that sort of thing. That's what I just feel like she's an unlikable person because she went along with that with a married man and it cost Shanann and her children their lives because she was the catalyst.
I mean,
That's how I feel.
well, yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. And like Cat in a Hat put for CW to plan and carry out through wiping out his family and casually looking up Metallica and lie the way he did, like the Battery song, right after he disposed of his family's bodies. The thing is that if anything, it was very clear that Chris Watts was obsessed with NK. Like and CJJ, like I think you meant their first emails, not text messages. She said, thank you for being honest with me. Like I value trustworthiness. And he's like, yeah, I'm a straightforward guy. You're gonna get nothing but the truth. And she was talking to other guys. She had set up some dates while they were seeing each other. I do not believe that she was an independent woman. Okay, she got the job of her dreams. She's college educated. She has her own place. She doesn't need a man. I mean, yeah, was she looking for the one? Sure, but she wasn't just going to settle. And I think that she was even up till like a couple of days before she was talking to her friend and she didn't even reveal who he was because she wasn't quite sure. She was starting to open her heart up a little bit. And then boom, this happens. And I do not believe that see, it's like this is what no, he didn't know about that until after he killed his family, Tracy. She did not tell him that. He found out after he had killed his family, after everything happened. And I think that's why he mentioned in that second confession that he had sex with Shanann, because that was a big FU to NK. So there was multiple FUs, subtle FUs in that second confession. So, and that's what I'm talking about. Like you guys, like it's just again, that is being a little unfair. Who's the one that was married? Who was the one that took the vows to their spouse? Chris. Okay, right? She wasn't married. Okay. Chris was married, took vows, had a family, had a wife that was pregnant. He was supposed to protect them. So to put that off on a woman, like he couldn't be like, nope, you know what? I'm walking away. I've got a baby on the way. It's like, no, that's taking the heat off of him. And there's enough of that happening. Okay. Chris Watts knew what he was doing. Okay. NK, sure. Was she probably in there like saying things like, well, I kind of feel like, like I might just be like, and I think if she meant it, I mean, like that she felt like she might, because I think ultimately she wanted to just be with a man that, that wasn't already married and had been married before and had children or whatever. Not that because she came from a divorced home. So she knew that how much of an impact that was. And she wasn't out there looking to get into a situation where the man is getting a divorce, has children. I mean, because she knows how destructive that is to the children. And so she was really wanting to find a guy that was single and had, was in a good place, was not married before, and all of that. So, she wasn't like a man eater, like going around looking like, let me see the next married man that I can rope me, like, yes. I mean, she was very like, very, she had a wall up to him, and she was starting to warm up, but it was based on his lies, I mean, there was no planning like, ooh, if only you didn't have children, or if only you didn't have this, or, like maybe if you just did this. I mean, I just don't see that. And there's no evidence to prove that. So, that's just speculating, you know. But I do believe that the Nutgate situation, what they like to call it, with with Chris's mom and Shanann, if anything, that had more of an impact on the situation, because it happened a couple of weeks before the murders. Um, that pressure was there for 8 years. Chris's parents tore on the marriage. So if you want to talk about a like a like home wrecker, if you want to talk about home wrecking, then look at Chris's parents, because they're the ones that protested the wedding. Okay, they're the ones that were not always supportive, that would, they would be off and on. But Shanann was the one that was the peacemaker, and she was the one that would try to reach back, get him back together. Because if it was up to Chris, I mean, he wouldn't talk to him. So I mean, there is plenty of dysfunctionality occurring. The 5 weeks that him and NK were having an affair, that, yeah, of course, that that was an influence, but it wasn't like a direct influence. It was a indirect. Like, it had, just like, I mean, there's influences everywhere in our lives. And so Chris Watts, his parents had an indirect influence in this as well. And just like you would say, right, Jane, that, and I know that you've dealt with, monster-in-laws. And
Mhm.
do you think that the Watts deserve an extra amount of hate because of how their actions leading up to this? Not going to
Well,
CC's birthday
it's
party.
unfortunate. It's unfortunate that their business has been out, that nut incident that happened, because all in-laws have problems, getting along. But that incident just came out in the public for us to see it sort of unfold, so we could see how much the Watts despised Shanann and they were against that marriage.
Right.
And yeah, I do believe that that was a huge influence, because they were letting him know they weren't happy with his choice, with Shanann. So there was, that's like a lot of family dynamics. You stir the pot and you stir the pot, and
Mhm.
yeah, I don't.
They
I feel for them too. Like, I've got empathy for them in terms of their son, having done what he did. But they did contribute,
Mhm.
to the
Yeah.
to the chaos and the problems in that marriage.
Yeah, they did. And yeah, you're right on. But so I bring this up saying, when people are like, NK was, evil, she's did this, and it's like, okay, well, let's look at this, because just right around that time too, that whole thing happened in North Carolina with Shanann and the Nuts and the mother-in-law, and they didn't go to Cece's birthday party. there. And even though they were invited. And so that kind of behavior was happening all the time. And between Shanann, like saying, I need you to stand up. I need you to stand up to your, family and not accept this behavior. And that was a huge influence on this. And then, but to look at NK and because most people would be like, well, no, they don't deserve that extra amount of hate. And I would say the same for, NK, because where did Chris write that letter? That to whom it may concern on August 6th, 2018, in the kitchen, on the kitchen table, in his parents' house. Okay. And sealed it up and gave it to them. So you want to talk about things looking a little more fishier about really and the Watts. I'm not saying that they are, but like I said, with NK, yeah, she was the mistress, but she was under the impression that he was getting a divorce. So it's kind of Chris lies. And so I don't think that she deserves to be dragged like this and her reputation just crucified, just completely to shreds, and this witch hunt be after her. I mean, think about that. Think about right now, like these are, innocent people. Like, and I know that people are like, well, I don't believe she is. Well, then once you have okay, if you can't understand that the CBI and FBI interviewed her multiple times, took her phones, like all of these things, and after a year, if you don't think that they wouldn't have made an arrest if there was any shred of doubt or evidence, okay, then I don't know what to tell you. But they would have done that. It would have happened, And so, yes, I mean, she could have run if she was guilty. But yeah, I mean, if you were in that situation, I mean, think about the horror of knowing that you were sleeping with a man that annihilated his family, his pregnant wife, and his two precious daughters, disposed of their bodies like he did. And he wanted to be with you. And you had been sending, sexting, naked photos, all of these things. And it's like, you would immediately like delete, like, because yeah, of course she felt a certain amount of guilt indirectly. But think about that. I mean, how exposed everything, she lost her job because of it, all because of Chris. Like, let's remember, because of Chris, not because of her. Like, yes, she was a single woman that got involved with a married man that, just emotionally terrorized and, just, I'm looking for, what's that word I'm looking for? Tortured his wife, Shanann, who was pregnant. Remember, guys, he did that, not her. NK had no communication with Shanann. She was not calling, harassing, emailing, none of that. Okay. Like, he was the one emotionally torturing his wife for weeks. Okay. Chris is the one that has ruined many, many lives and, and took out his wife, pregnant wife, and daughters. Okay. He did that. Nobody else. And she did go to the cops. She did.
You got more mercy than me. I just feel really angry with the mistress. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a natural, like I said. I mean, hi, Claire Bear. How are you? Welcome. It's very natural. Like I said, trust me, throughout this case, did I have my rants? I mean, being, like even in the situation that I am with my soon to be ex, the thought of him being with another woman infuriates me so much that literally I could picture myself being unsnapped. Like I would probably end up in prison or something. You know what I mean? Like, the betrayal, you know what I mean? Like, and somebody else getting treated better than you. And, Shanann having to deal with what she was dealing with. And that's what she got. She got the worst of Chris. And then she lost her life. And then, but at that same time, NK was getting the best of Chris. And I fucking hate that. But whose fault is that really? Chris's, not NK's. Okay. Again, Chris was married. He was legally married to Shanann. He took vows. He said that was his responsibility. Okay. So NK, she got sucked into this. She did that email in the beginning saying, let's keep our friendship, friendship, a friendship, because there was obvious some attractions, but like as soon as he started with the whole like, oh, we're getting a divorce, we're separating, Shanann left not that long after, pretty much within weeks, Shanann left. So she was like, oh, well, shit. Okay. So it's not hard to believe that she was sucked into his lies like everybody else is, and believing that his marriage was over. And, they were living separately, it seemed, in that house. That happens sometimes with couples going through a divorce. They can't afford to leave, so they cohabitate. So it's not an unusual situation. Again, it happens. So for me, I feel like that all of the anger and hate and rage needs to be directed towards Chris. Like NK, until I see like evidence, like stone cold hard evidence, of a taped conversation of NK with Chris, manipulating his mind or for some reason, just things like that, then but until then, I mean, I don't, they were able to retrieve all of the text messages that Chris sent, her and their text conversations.
Yeah, I
So,
don't believe she was involved at all. It's just her participating in that affair that, got me cranky. But just you were
yeah.
saying before about that fishy letter from the Watts.
Mm-hmm.
There was also that really fishy letter in the discovery documents about the psychic medium that sent. Did you see that? A psychic medium sent that letter.
Oh, yeah, they want to be anonymous, but it was like, yeah.
That was really fishy, and it had no harm intended. That seemed, that's fishy to have that strange letter
Right.
that Watts engineered a couple of days or weeks or so before the murders, and then all of a sudden this anonymous fishy letter pops up with no harm intended, because that, they were trying to convince everybody that he just lost his temper and he snapped. That was very fishy.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. At that point, they would have opened that letter up because, something happened. And so who knows? I mean, they may have orchestrated that to try to, I don't know, like just to put in that no harm intended,
No harm intended. That's what jumped
right.
out at me.
So, but, so like, that's a possibility. That's interesting. And they're the ones that had that letter, not NK.
Well, there's so many strange things about this case that just nothing straightforward. It's very.
For music. Right. Soul for Music says it could be any of us. Imagine you are NK. How would you feel being attacked when you did nothing? All you did was love someone who you thought loved you and wanted to be with you and you alone, and was getting a divorce. And, so we probably could listen to some of that letter. Okay. Yeah. Let me get it. Let's see. Just a minute. I'm going to get it. Let me get it really quick.
I just got to go and shut my door because it's getting cold.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. It's winter still there. Okay. I'm getting that, pulling that up, guys. Hold on. Okay. Oop. Give me just a second. Letter to home. There. Okay, hold on. I'm looking it up. Okay. Okay. Let me see. I need to see the. Okay, let me look at the images here because. Okay. Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay, I have it. Let me share it. Okay, okay. Now, stop. Okay, share that. So right here, as you can see, it's dated August 6th of 2018. To whom it may concern, if anyone gets this letter, I would never do anything to hurt myself or my children or my wife. If anything happens to me, please investigate my wife. Chris Watts. So yes, that is very interesting to say the least. Yeah, I just showed it. Yeah, do you see the letter? I mean,
and all the details in it were so accurate to the actual murders. And for a psychic medium to have that ability, you would think that they would not want to be anonymous, that they would want some credibility or, credit for their
right, let me
psychic
see.
abilities. That's really fishy to me.
Yeah, let me see. I know like it's in here. Hold on, where's hold on. Oh, wait, did I do just a minute? Where's I think I went too far, didn't I? Okay, hold on. Just trying to look.
Yeah, Michelle Kay says that in her opinion, a lot of people do believe the mistress is involved. And,
Well,
I guess everybody's entitled to their opinion. I just, for me, my instincts just tell me. I mean, I could be wrong. We could find out. Who knows?
hold on. Wait, let's see. What is this? Oh, okay, gosh. Well, the thing is that, Frank came out with that news conference pleading for the conspiracies and lies to stop. He specifically states that Chris Watts murdered Shanann, baby Nico, Bella, and Cece. And so for me, that's why well, not just because, like we're all still kind of gripped with this case and it's been a while since I looked over the discovery, but I'm wanting to help to debunk all of these conspiracies and to help bring peace to the Rusaks and to keep the focus on Chris and with like AD, like Armchair Detective and Mary Marlowe that are just pulling shit out of their demented minds, like about it's just that's not okay. And then it gets a bunch of people in uproar thinking, oh my gosh, could this be? I mean, it's like, hold on, hold on. Okay, hold on. Wait, oh, okay. I wanted to finish really quick. What is this? Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Where am I? Oh, okay. No, hold on. Oh, God, see this thing. I wish it did better. It didn't go so fast. What is this? Okay.
Soul for Music 79 said he was thinking with his wrong head. I agree with that.
Yeah. But he was, and it's another thing is that there are a lot of situations where divorces can take years, years. especially if you have a difficult ex that is just refusing and wants to make life hell. And so, and depending on the state you live in, like where I live, Texas, it's a no fault divorce state. So only one person needs to want a divorce. But some states, they aren't a no fault. So both parties have to come to an agreement. So that's why there are cases where it's dragged out for years. And so what are they supposed to do in the meantime? So they're not supposed to have another relationship when they're done with the marriage and they're trying to get a divorce. No, just because he was still technically married, because in Colorado there's legal separation. Not all, like Texas, they do not recognize legal separation. So in Colorado, you can be legally separated and be able to go do what you want to do, but still be
They were living in
married.
the same house, and she was checking. I was just going to answer fact based. I don't think she stalked Shanann. That was the wrong word,
No,
but she was
yeah.
checking on Shanann's status on Facebook. Her searches showed that she did from time to time look that up, and maybe she did that for her own because she knew he was lying to her. But they were still living as a married couple. That was,
I mean, like, okay, so the times that it shows now, there's that whole thing from 2017. NK did not even work at Anadarko. She had just started working at Anadarko, like when this happened. Like she hadn't worked there very long, so she did not even know. And I think they came out they officially came out saying that that was a typo, because when you're taking things from a computer or a phone, when you're taking data like that, it's not coming to you in English. Okay, it's coming in codes, and a human being has to kind of go through and, like, somebody that's knowledgeable with that, um, understanding code and forensics, computer forensics. They have to go through that. It's a painstaking process. So there's going to be human error. So they came out saying, and the thing is that they took they and it shows in the discovery that like I believe September, it was in the first part of September 2018, they took her phone again to look at it. So that could have been very well from that. It just was not 2017. She did look up Shanann after on the 12th. She did look her up, because at that point, Chris was like, he was already set on the plan. So he's like, yeah, we're divorced. She was probably like, okay, let me kind of see what's going on. Who is this? And then she did, after everything, when she went missing, she was looking up Shanann. And so, but she hadn't been looking her up for months and months and months, and also there's a very well-known, in Colorado, and her name's Shannon Watts. And she started it's a Moms for Action, and it's for like gun control. It's bigger than the NRA, actually. So who's to say she wasn't looking her up? If for some reason it comes back, because again, she didn't know who Chris was. She didn't work for Anadarko. Like, that's just, like I said, that doesn't make sense. I'm trying to. I didn't ever confirm with Cece if there was anything in the lungs. I just want to make sure, like, before I move. Let's see, body cavity.
I can't understand why he wasn't drug tested as well, how that wasn't just a procedure, because how everybody was saying that he was, the mistress was saying that he wasn't sleeping properly, and I don't know. I don't think he was on drugs, but you never know because they didn't test him. So you can't even dismiss that, because that's an unknown. Nobody will ever know.
Yeah. So, well, they did do drug testing.
But they did they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because, like, I mean, when you have workers that are working, like, on these oil sites, there is so much. They have it to a T where they cannot, in their work truck, they are not allowed, if their car is moving, they cannot pick up a phone call, okay, for safety reasons. They have GPS. They have all of these things. So absolutely, and Jewels of Thought confirmed that because her family was oil field workers. Because there's so much, it's so hazardous and so dangerous. They're not going to allow men and women to be high, so they're going to do drug tests. So, that whole thing again is from Conspiracies, from Mary Marlowe. Like she's going on and on about, the drug dealer and this and that, which, is there's no evidence.
I was watching a bit of hers the other day, and she had a theory about Shanann being raped, for heaven's sake, sexually assaulted.
Oh yeah, Mary Marlowe. Oh God. And that's why I've been doing my like rocker girl interviews with her, and I call her out all the time because I'm like, this is disgusting. And then
terrible for the Rusek family to hear some of this.
Yeah. And she has a Patreon that's for people to give her money, and it's all about this case. And it's like, she is like calling all these innocent people murderers and, screwing with their lives. And she says, I'm out for NK's blood. She wants their lives to be, just torturous. And it's just like, and all these theories, it's like, and she doesn't even know the basic points of this case. Like right now in her latest video, she is wanting everybody to do research for her, and there is so much that she does not know about this case, so much that she gets wrong because all she does is she goes on her Facebook page and whatever her people are putting on there, she goes and talks about. She doesn't do this research herself. She is not a person, a reliable source by any means. Like she comes up with the most demented, like sadistic, like scenarios. And they're all from her mind, her imagination. And the details that she goes into that are based on no facts. That to me, again, the Ruseks, Frank pleaded for channels like hers to stop, because that is horrific. It does no justice. How is that doing any justice? Chris is in prison for the rest of his freaking life. And name a case, again, a family annihilation case, when there needed to be a gang of people that killed a pregnant woman and 2 children. You know what I mean? Yeah, maybe in a mob, maybe in one of Martin Scorsese's movies. I don't know. Even at that, I don't even think that happens. But yeah, in gangs and stuff, yeah, sometimes, unfortunately. But we're not talking about that. We're not talking about a Manson situation, okay? Where you have some person that has a flock of people that are just going to go and murder, she's literally describing the Manson case, like people high going and killing. And the puppet master is NK. What? But she talks about how she sees herself in NK, how manipulative she is, like how manipulative Mary Marlowe herself is. So she projects on her all the time. Quite frankly, I think that she is describing what she would do if she was in that situation, like it's very, very just odd and toxic and wrong.
So they're talking in the chat about the premeditation. Jamie, do you believe it was premeditated?
Absolutely. I believe that
I do too.
With that letter, right there, that letter, and him emotionally disconnecting, but that letter shows so much. And yeah, and there was no evidence that he was in a rage, because when people fly into a rage, they see red, and there would have been so much more trauma and damage on Shanann if it was an act of rage. And how he wouldn't be so calm and collected coming in and out of the house, just casually putting things for like 40 minutes with his backed up pickup truck, loading the bodies into the back of the pickup truck. Again, there's a lie where you can see that no way in hell did he, because it was already, the sun was already coming out by the time that he opened the side door in the back. And are you telling me that he's going to come out where everybody can see carrying 150 pounds of dead weight of Shanann, just carrying her like that? Because most likely he'd have to put her over his shoulder like a fireman's hold, and then throw her back in the floorboard of his truck. I mean, again, that shows the lie that he sensationalized it, and you know heard what the people he heard what they wanted to hear, and he gave it to them, and then in the process gave a big fu, because when the Ruseks were there saying, we hope that you never have a good night's rest the rest of your life, we hope you're haunted with what you did, you evil monster, that, and he's like, okay, I got you. Like when the first chance he got, he's like, here you go, here's Bella's last word, so live with that the rest of your life. Like that's showing all these signs. Okay, hold
Somebody
on.
just, what was it? Hang on a sec. Soul for Music 79 said that NK made him feel like he'd never felt before. And he was portraying himself to NK as an alpha male. So, an alpha male is not going to be that weak that they're going to include their mistress in a family annihilation. That's why I can't get my mind around the fact that NK was involved, because he was portraying himself to be such a man.
Well, but at the same time, there was evidence to show, because he was a man baby, he had to literally be told, like she's like, okay, so you're separating, you're selling the house, your wife is gone. So we got to start looking at apartments. So where do you want to live? Like, so she was, so there is that dominant female. He needs that. Like he has that need from childhood to have that dominant female telling him what to do, in that sense, like helping him make these like just seemingly normal decisions that he can't think for himself. But you know what I think, like it's interesting you bring that up about the alpha. I think that he showed how alpha, and how alpha he was when he annihilated his family. Like, he's like, yeah, like he says, oh, I couldn't put a picture up or something, something stupid like that. And even Shanann towards the end, I mean, she was fighting so hard for her marriage, and she's like, because he would never talk to her, because I mean, really, those things didn't really matter. It's just whatever he could tell in any moment, any lies, or make things seem worse than they were, then he would do that. And so, but otherwise, I mean, he didn't care about hanging something on the wall, he was just using that. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
He was pretending to be alpha. He wasn't an alpha male. He was a very weak man. But with NK, he was sort of more of an alpha male. It's slightly more.
I mean, like, yeah, I think, I think in his mind, that's what he says. That's what he tells in the second confession, that he felt that's how the relationship was going. But I'm sure he
would have dominated him.
Well, like just because on their first date, she was cool about the movie being sold out. Okay. But I think that he was pursuing her just like he did to Shanann. You know what I mean? Like he was the one sending her these love notes and cards and, doing the fixing things around her apartment. Like he thinks he has to do that. Oh, I have to fix things. A man, that's what a man does. Like, he was back to his old patterns. Like that's what he did to win Shanann's dad over, you know? And so that's what he started doing for her. So I just don't think that she was necessarily pursuing him. I think that's what he wants to tell himself. But, we all know he's, delusional and lies. I think that he was pursuing her, you know? So I think he wanted to feel maybe that he was like alpha for some reason, but and maybe he probably felt great. I mean, unfortunately, as we can see when he looked up the lyrics to that Metallica song, and also what was interesting is he was looking up like images of a volcano, in the days leading up. Kind of almost like, oh, it's building, it's building, it's building. It's coming. That was when Shanann comes back, and this was literally days like that weekend, looking at these different pictures of a volcano. So it was like it just like this was all going to come out, and he was, it was like, I don't know. I found that interesting that he was like,
CJJ is talking about the giggle, the creepy giggle.
oh
She's going
yeah,
to be famous for the creepy giggle.
I know, right? It's like, I don't even know. I think, like everybody has a little thing that they do. I think, yes. I mean, she's not known for her voice being very nice to hear. But, I think that she's a very guarded and private person to begin with. And I think she was just coming across that way in the interviews. And I mean, what I say? Do I think that she's not my type of person? I could never imagine being friends with somebody like that with her personality. But that doesn't mean that she's a bad person or evil person. I think, like I said, I mean, imagine being thrown into this. I mean, could you imagine? Like, Jane, if you were like all of a sudden, the guy that you're thinking is getting a divorce, all of a sudden his family goes missing and she finds out that Shanann was actually pregnant and, like could you imagine that feeling? Like, you're like, oh my God, like, what the fuck? Like,
I mean, her life is ruined because nobody will ever forget. Like, I couldn't
Mhm.
imagine what her life is like.
Right. And that's probably why she had to look up the Amber Fry stuff. Like, well, this is a well-known mistress. Like, what is happening with her? Like, what's going on? Like, how did she survive this? And what did she do? And, I mean, that's a normal thing to do. I mean, it's not, like, so I don't think that that's not, I don't think that I think it's just more just picking apart something that it is what it is. I don't think that there's anything deeper than that. Yeah, like, does she come across very likable in her interviews? No. But that's just her personality. But I don't think that that means that she, um, you know, that she had, anything to do with this other than just sleeping with a married man and probably making some comments here and there like, well, I wish that, I could be a first. Um, some things like that. But I don't think it was in terms of kill your family, like, because, but yeah. Um, well, Michelle, like I was saying, when she's in this like crisis mode of thinking, oh my gosh, what has happened? And I mean, could you imagine like having slept with and being around this man that was capable of that? for 5 weeks. Could you imagine how freaking scary that is? Like, to think about, like, that, I mean, ugh, and like you had made a video about, would he have, done away with her? And I mean, I'm sure he would have if he needed to. When, like if something better came along.
Well, Fact Base just said before that a lot of serial killers or a lot of killers can go dormant for a few years and then strike again. I mean,
Right, right, right,
if you're capable of killing, he could have, who knows what he would have done if he got away with it.
right, exactly. And again, and another thing is that when you, and this is all in efforts of trying to, debunk the conspiracies and stuff. So if you're thinking that in case somehow she didn't do it, but she was this puppet master or she had any involvement in it. First of all, like she would have made sure that the things that a woman takes with them would have been gone. Chris is a man. He wasn't thinking like that. Like he didn't really think like a woman and thinking, leaving Shanann's purse here, all this stuff, her phone, the kids' medicines, all that stuff. Again, showing signs if he's not told what to do, he's not going to really know what to do. Like, I mean, meaning like he, you could tell he flew solo on this one, because there were so many things that he just like was not connecting with, like showing that even though Shanann had this, I mean, she talked to her family every day. From the moment she woke up, she was calling her teammates, fellow thrivers, like going live, doing all of these things and was in constant contact. And Chris Watts probably didn't even like, even when he was around, he probably didn't even really clue into that to the extent or really care to clue into how much, contact or how much, you know what I mean? Because he didn't think like that. He doesn't have those kind of emotions. He doesn't care for people like that. He
Completely unaware.
was completely
Unaware of everybody else but himself.
right. And, just thinking like what he would do. Like, well, I mean, because he didn't have to speak to his family very often. And, if somebody went missing, oh, well, if I check in with them, I check in with them, you know? And so those kind of things shows how really disconnected he was to really think like, I mean, like thinking like this is what I think would happen. I mean, because any normal person would think, well, yeah, like the friend would definitely check up on her because she had a doctor's appointment and she never goes black and she always calls people back. And, people care to a point where they're going to check on you. They're going to check on their friend. But Chris Watts doesn't have that connection. He doesn't have that where he would do that himself. So again, that just shows how much this was him solo, like him doing this, those are just some things that I can say right off the bat. And also like they want to say like Mary Marlowe with this whole gang of people. Don't you think that if there were 4 or 5 people involved in this, that house would look immaculate, like exactly how it would look normally, that Shanann's purse and everything was gone. And, like, you know what I'm saying? Like and also if there was some, big operation, like he probably would have taken Shanann's car somewhere, met up with them, again, this shows he was solo. Because why would he leave the car in the garage? Like, why would he leave her purse? Like, because he's not thinking about any of these things, Like, it's like, and again, like, there's no reason to have all these people and people he worked with, nobody would do that. Like, what? Like, I mean, that doesn't happen, like very, like, like there is few situations where you hear of, unless they're in a cult or something, oh, some coworkers being like casually like, "Hey, are you looking for some money? Well, hey, I need to off my family. What do you say?" You know? I mean, no, like, that's all like that crazy conspiracy thinking. But like I said, if you really look at things, you look at the evidence. That's what you really have to look at. Not because speculation is for when a case first happens, when a murder happens and there's really not much information, there's no discovery, we're all wondering what happened. Okay, well, this is maybe what could have happened, or maybe that. And then, but once you get the evidence, and especially once somebody is convicted for the murder and confesses twice, like, I don't understand the speculation part of it still going on, like, as if the case.
Somebody would have crumbled by now too with Mary Marlowe's theory, because she's got all these people connected that are not actually connected, like the Anadarko worker and then the mistress, and then leave Jim alone. And somebody would have, the more people are involved, the higher the risk of somebody squealing, you know? And yeah, the theory doesn't, I can't agree with her theory, any of the theories that she's got.
Yeah, this is a good thing, like, so many questions that we'll never answer. Pick a boyfriend or from your past or girlfriend, any. When you met, did you think to make sure they weren't married? Are you absolutely sure they weren't? And that's a great point, Soul for Music. We don't always know. There are so many cases. Now, granted, NK did know that he was married, but she didn't know. She just started working there, so she didn't know, like, all the intricacies of their relationship. And when he started saying, "Oop, there's trouble in paradise, we're getting separated," and then Shanann leaves for 5 weeks with the girls, I mean, again, like, in her mind, and like I said, legal separation is in Colorado, and that means you're still married legally, but you're just legally separated. So, and that's fine. I mean, kudos to anybody that would hold out. But I mean, if you found somebody that was still legally married, but was separating from their wife and starting the process, like, are you saying, Tracy, that you would wait until they were divorced, even though, like, they were separated and they were, you know?
I wouldn't put up with that. If he was still living with his wife, I would not tolerate that. I would say if you're divorced, like Leaping Lizard just said that NK was pressuring him to make a decision, or and I would be the same. I would not be agreeable if I met somebody and he said he was going through a divorce, and I would want it now. I'd want evidence now. Like, I
Oh,
wouldn't want him living with his wife. I wouldn't put up with that.
well, and yeah, and so I think what Chris, how he staged it was that he had been in the basement, and, the marital problems were happening, and then she jetted off to North Carolina, left, went to be with family, and they were going to sell the house. And, and he wanted her to see one of the reasons why he took her there was so that she could see that they were living separately, that he had his place. And that happens. There are situations, and I mean, I'm not saying that I would be cool with that, but he was telling her that they were going to be within like a month or within a week or within weeks that they were going to be moved out. That's why she was trying to help him, like, find an apartment, because he was saying they were getting a divorce when she came back and they were selling the house. So it wasn't more her being like, "You will leave your wife, you will move." She was just trying to help him because, of course, she didn't want that. She felt that wasn't right. I mean, it happens because people can't afford to live separately right off the bat. And it's not an unusual thing to happen either. I mean, I wouldn't want that, myself, but it does happen. Um, more often than, you would think. But I'm a jealous person myself. So, I wouldn't want to know that, the exes were cohabitating. But I mean, she wasn't like, come move with me. Come on and move in with me. I mean, if she was saying that, like, come move in with me, like she was like, nope, you're not moving in with me. Let's find you, you want your own place. Let's find, where the girls, give them, have a 2-bedroom place, trying to help him get set up for that and visitation and everything. And coming from a divorced situation herself, she knew, I mean, you can't just throw the kids into a situation, a new relationship. You need to give it time. So, in a lot of ways, I saw her being, very smart and like logical and respectful to his kids, and not wanting to do that. What? How do I know what? Right, soul diversity. Yeah.
But when if they're living together, you'd always be worried, are they going to reconcile? Are they going to work it out? I'd hate to be the side chick. I couldn't handle that.
Yeah, and that's why it's like, I mean, he was telling her, because obviously, I mean, she was like, I'm not going to be in a situation like that. But again, he was telling her that they were getting a divorce, that they were selling the house, that, once Shania came back, they were selling it, and that's it. They're going their separate ways. And so she was trying to help him find an apartment. But if she was sitting here like, you can move in with me, come move in with me, that would tell me that she was obsessed and wanted him to herself. But she didn't want him to move in with her. She was like, this is my sanctuary. You know what I mean? And you have children that you need to have a home set up for them. She had regard for his kids. If she didn't, she'd be like, okay, forget about that. Move in with me. Move in with me. It wasn't all about her. She was thinking about the kids. She was thinking about after the divorce. So I don't see any nefarious kind of actions happening on that part at all. Like, I mean, nobody's perfect. Well, again, I mean, it's like, but you don't know she did either. So we can say that back and forth, but we got to look at the evidence. And that's what I'm trying to say. We can't think about our imagination and these what ifs. It's like, we can't do that. Like, we have to look at the evidence. And if she was obsessed about him and if she wanted him to herself, she would have been telling her friends, like, this is my man. This is who I'm seeing. She was still not quite sure about him. So she was, and she wanted,
She probably still wasn't sure that he was going to leave his wife.
Well,
I think that was more like it.
She probably wanted to, she wanted to make sure that, he was getting a divorce and that this was something, that it wasn't just, you know what I mean? Like, because she was starting to kind of really like him. And so, but even in the text messages to her friend, it wasn't like she was in love with him. She was like, saying he was great in the sack or whatever. But like, she wasn't like, oh my God, he's just so perfect. Like, I just have to have him, he's my ideal man, like, what am I going to do without him? It's like, no, like that. I mean, I'm just not seeing that whatsoever. I mean, Chris even commented on how when she needed to get away, she would go and camp by herself, solo, like by herself. She didn't need a man. She had a great job. She had her own apartment. She was an independent woman. So why would an independent woman that put a lot of stock in that got the job of her dreams, why would she throw that away? She wouldn't. She was led, and now her dreams were thrown away because of Chris. Because of Chris. At the end of the day. Okay? I mean, if he was telling her, well, I don't know, we're on the fence now, she's really wanting to fix things. I don't know. And she was like, well, but I mean, I really want to be with you. I really want to be with you. Like, please. Then yeah, she'd be throwing her career away and all this stuff. But she wasn't. Like, he was like, she's done. She doesn't want to fix things, even though Shanann sent him that book that he threw in the trash. And everything he was doing actually was trying to make it look like he was staging it to make it look like that she didn't want to, like, the book in the trash. That was he did that on purpose. He said because he wanted to make it look like she threw that. Like, I'm done. There's no saving this, you know. And like they're taking off her wedding ring. Like, she's like, I don't want to be with you anymore. Here's the wedding ring. Like, that's what he was thinking would somehow make Shanann look like she did it or she did something, you know? So those little things he did. Let's see, hold on. What? People think they would just blow the dude off if you didn't know a guy was married or thought he was separated and fell for him. Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of people. Good night, Cat in the Hat. I hope you feel better. Thank you for your help. You did great modding earlier. Thank you, as always. And Cat Ma'am, it's like, again, she chose to date a man that was married. He was married. He took the vows, not her. And he told her that he was separated from his wife and getting a divorce. So, I mean, this is where we need to get the scorned woman attitude out of we need to think logically. And, not like come at this woman with all this hate and blame her. Because again, she was single. She didn't have any obligation. She wasn't promised or didn't take vows to another person, for better, for worse, sickness and health, rich and poor, till death do us part. But you know what? Who did? Chris, till death do us part. So he took that literally. Okay, well, can't get a divorce till death do we part. Okay, you're dying and we part. Like, and then the whole thing about, oh, maybe the kids didn't have to die. Like, if it was the case where he wanted to have his children with him, but just get rid of Shanann and for some reason baby Nico, because that's a child too, it would have been, not hard because they were supposed to go to, like, I think they were supposed to go to Aspen. They were supposed to go away the next weekend, right? So just him and her, so could he have not staged something like some accident happening? Like she fell off a cliff and he's like devastated and like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Like, and then, but his girls are safe and they don't have to die. No, he had to rid his family because he wanted to be single. He wanted to shed his old life. So that whole thing about the kids, no, that was planned, because when he was in North Carolina, he was cold as ice to his children. He was meaner to them. Everybody noted that. He was yelling at them. He was giving them no attention. And it's kind of weird because, like, in that video of them at the beach, the first time the girls get to go to the beach, Chris was like starting to take one of them farther out, and see, driving there, he drove like a psychopath and like just speeding like a bat out of hell, just like, and Sandy and Frank were even like, what the hell is going on? Disregard to, his family's safety. And Shanann was like, no, Chris, stop. So it's almost like she felt in her soul, like she couldn't trust him. Like something was off, because she was kind of like, he was like, oh, let me take him out farther, and she's like, no, Chris, like, chill. Because that was the first time that they've been out in the ocean, and he's like, oh, let's go deeper and deeper. I don't know if you've ever seen that video.
He was really unplugged. He was just not interested. He wasn't there, didn't want to be there.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, so he didn't have he and also another thing that was very interesting and to think about is that when in the second interview or confession, he was telling the agents how, when he's like, oh, why did she have to be gone so long? And, like again, the dependency thing. But it's like, because I guess he was spending the night at NK's a lot. So he was basically like, never really at home. And so he was saying how he wasn't looking at the pictures of his family. So it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind,
Mm,
so he needed that physical reminder of there wasn't that natural organic love or attachment to his family unless they were there to remind him that there's a reason why he's fond of them, or you know what I mean, like
mm.
that. And if that is strange behavior, you know
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know
he checked out. He'd really checked out.
yeah, I don't think there's any new evidence that's coming out. I mean, I don't think so. I don't know what evidence there would be. Um, let's see, money motivated that he killed others, divorce. What? Soul diversity seemed money motivated that he killed others, divorce. I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, I finally understand that that's from that movie. What was that movie called? I never saw it with Sandra Bullock with the blindfold. Where they had to be blindfolded because I don't know, some kind of these demonic presence. Like if you looked at them, then there was something. Did you ever see that?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
No.
yeah, I never saw it, but it's supposed to be interesting. Um, yeah, I mean, they usually will say if anything is still sealed. And I don't think there's anything that's been noted that's sealed. Um, and again, what money? What money was there to gain on this at all?
Yeah, there was no money.
Yeah.
Kat, I just want to
Oh,
see
sure.
what Kat Ma'am just said. I wish they could have gotten the blue gloves and big jeans checked for prints and DNA. You know what I noticed? You know how all the blood drained out of his face and he was panicked when he saw the neighbour's footage
Hmm.
of him backing his truck up because he was as guilty as hell. The
Hmm.
other time that I saw really suspicious behaviour was those big jeans when they were standing at the bottom of the steps with the detective. He sort of behaved like the blood drained out of his face, and I thought, what was it? Where they were
Um,
standing near her suitcase with those
oh,
big jeans there.
okay, which one is that one? Now, I will say and we were watching this, Chris, well, okay, here, let me show this video. So was it the first day? Um,
Yep, the
okay,
first day, yeah,
okay,
after that afternoon. So after Coonrod came in, and then they called. I just can't think of his name. The detective, lead detective. What was his name?
was it
Farmhand.
Baumhauer,
He
or
came
yeah,
in, and they were standing at the bottom of the stairs next to Shanann's suitcase, and the blood just drained out of his face. And they asked him about those jeans. And to
okay.
me, I thought, what link does the gene? Why did his blood drain out of his face, and why did he sort of carry on in that moment? There was something that was said at the bottom of those stairs. He got really panicked
So, okay, so there's a couple of things. Wait, what? What is this? Hold
because he
on.
said that he was going to donate those jeans because they were too big. But what were those pair of jeans doing at the bottom of the stairs next to her suitcase? And it was really suspicious
Okay.
about these blue jeans.
Okay. Now, can y'all, did anybody say if it was the first day?
Yeah, the first day.
Okay, let me start. I'll share that. Hold on. Okay, let's see. Let's watch that. But one thing I will say about like the surveillance, he knew that his neighbor that camera was there. And there was even a point when he looked up at it and remembered, oh yeah, I need to act like I'm putting things in the back of my truck. So he got that gas can and acted like he was putting it in on one side, then didn't, and then came around and did it again. And so yeah, he knew that. But okay, let me see. Really quick, I want to see this. Hold on. Now this video says Shanann Watts secretly filming Chris Watts and joked about murder. Let me see. It's a minute long. Let me see. Hold on. I'm trying to hear it. Get on the floor. Hot dog, hot dog, hot diggity dog. Hot dog, hot diggity dog. Running through the way, what you waiting for? Get up, stretch out, get on the floor. Hot dog, hot diggity dog. Hot dog, hot diggity dog. It's a brand new way, what you waiting for? Get up, stretch out, get on the floor. Hot dog, hot diggity dog. Okay. What? I didn't understand that at all. What was that about? I don't know. Oh, I don't want Mary Marlowe. Okay. I don't know how that was. I don't know. That was a little misleading. I don't know. But he was wearing a Metallica shirt. Okay. Oh, hold on. Oopsies, that one. Okay. Let me see which one I pulled up. Not that one. No. Stop it. Okay. Where did I hold on? Wait, okay.
His whole appearance changed. Once he got cut and he lost weight, and with the graying of his hair, he looked completely different.
Right. Okay, so what part?
Yeah, it's quite further on.
Okay, so was it past when they went upstairs?
Yep. So about there. See what he's doing. Oh.
Or was it before they went upstairs?
No, I reckon it's further.
Further.
It's
Okay.
after that afternoon.
Okay. I mean, because there's multiple videos. Hold on. Is he in the closet talking about it?
Further on. Might be in the second video.
Okay,
it's not in this one, I don't think.
Let me see. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay, this one might be good.
How you guys doing? What's that?
Yeah. This one's nice and low.
How you been?
Hi.
You're Nicole?
Yes.
Okay. What's going on?
So my friend, we were out of town for a business trip.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just in the door.
Let's see.
Yeah, keep going. It's sort of more at the end.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, here. It's around this time. It's with him. Yep.
Okay, let's okay. Oh.
They go down the stairs, and that's when the blood just rushes out of his face.
Okay.
Not anyone. Who's that me for?
It's coming like in just a matter of seconds.
Advised.
And you can hear, right? Oh, Bird Box, yeah. Okay. I think it's coming. Okay.
Hello?
Okay, talking to Sandy. I just can't,
All right.
God bless them.
Right. Possibly.
Look at him like holding his arms. Dieter's like, you guys, you don't know what happened in here.
Yep.
Is this, let's see. Is it farther?
Yeah, further.
Okay, further. Okay. Let me, okay, here we go. Okay.
Yeah, around
Okay,
here
got
somewhere.
it.
See any signs of a struggle? Nothing's broken. Right, and her purse and her wallet. I mean, the whole thing.
Again, things that a woman would think of.
Those are the ones she normally wears. This is the suitcase she had yesterday.
The stuff she had last night. Yep.
It's here.
Okay.
This is, it's just some kind of darker stuff. Is that your stuff? Yeah, that's the stuff I was going to give to people because they don't fit me anymore. Oh, these are your jeans? Yeah, it was like 38s. They're way too big now.
See how he's turning away like that?
Oh,
Look at his
yeah, that's
face.
what he always do.
Just call anybody.
He's breathing. He's going pale. There's something wrong there.
Yeah, because those are probably,
Yeah, I'm going to try to run some things down using her phone and then see if we can't find somebody. If nobody's heard anything at all, then they'll probably pull the trigger a little bit quicker. Go that route. So.
he's not even asking questions. He's like, what?
He's sort of recovering a bit there. It was something that was said. I'm not sure what it was, but
Let's see, hold on.
Like a piece of wax or something that's not blood. Those are the ones she normally wears. This is the suitcase she had yesterday.
The stuff she had last night. Yep. What's this? This is. That's just some kind of darker stuff. Is that your stuff? Yeah, that's the stuff I was going to give to people because they don't fit me anymore. Oh, these are your jeans? Yeah, it's like 38s. They're way too big now.
he nearly puts his hands on the back of his head again. See, look at him.
Okay.
Strange.
Yeah. He, you do notice that like when he's lying too, he gives a lot of details, like, yeah, they're 38s and they don't fit me anymore, and yeah, I was gonna give them to somebody. They don't fit me anymore. Too big for me, And then he looks away, and it's strange. Okay, what was
It
the
might have
other?
just been that her suitcase was there or something, but he just started to sort of lose.
Yeah,
That was the
and
only other time I saw him look really, weird.
right. And the other thing too is like, I mean, when they are, when they're at the neighbor's house looking at the footage, I mean, it took him almost 2 hours, even though Nicole Atkinson had said that she was pregnant right from the get go, but he didn't for almost 2 hours. And it wasn't until, again, not being connected, okay, like, it was like, oh, he saw this little flash of a fetus from a commercial, and he's like, she's pregnant. Almost like 2 hours later. Have you seen that part?
Yeah, that was
It's, you know what I
weird.
mean? Like, it's so strange that, like, hold
That
on.
ad came on.
Well, I mean, not so. Oh, yeah, not so. Okay, hold on.
Yeah,
Um,
why were those jeans um, at the bottom of the stairs with her suitcase? Bizarre, those jeans.
I mean, it could have been. I mean, that he was. I mean, who knows? He was gonna maybe,
Yeah, something in the pockets. Maybe he wrapped something up in it or something,
or maybe he had those on. But he did say he threw everything away, and he did have an extra pair of clothes with him, and he changed after, because even his coworker was like commenting on how he's like, this is not what he normally wears. And so, who knows, like, um if those are what he wore when he was bringing her body down, and I don't know, like, they might have trace evidence, I don't know, but
maybe he had something hidden in them and was
well,
going to
yeah,
just donate them. That's how he was going to get out the house or something. It's just something really weird about those jeans. I'd love to
well,
know the truth.
the thing is that when he left that morning, he was wearing jeans, and he's wearing a
Mm.
long sleeve black shirt. So he changed, and this is, 12 hours later. So he hadn't come back to the house. So whatever he wore to dispose the bodies, that's gone. So I don't know, like, why, um, who knows? Maybe he really was, or maybe he was like, well, maybe I'll take these to change into, and didn't end up taking it. Maybe, I don't know. But it's interesting, just with what is it? But, and so, okay, what
Oh,
was
he
it?
picked them up. He picked the jeans up. I didn't see that.
Yeah, he did pick the jeans up. Um, Now, what was the second video that we were? What is this? What was the second video that we were gonna watch? Like, okay, I want to. Like I said, I like showing. Oh wait. Okay, hold on. Um, mm, just showing. I don't like the music's not necessary. So, again, because there's still this kind of gives the report of, it was in 3-minute frames, and so I'm sorry, this is a great point of reference here. Okay, so you can see that, where are we? Has he come out yet? I don't know. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, so just a minute, like, I think in a minute you'll see the car, the lights come on. Oh, okay. See, those are the headlights. He's gonna walk out That's Chris. He's wearing a black shirt. And you'll see a car leaving. Their next door neighbor, Betty, leaves. She goes like that. She leaves to go work out. So that's who's leaving right there, going that way. And that was confirmed. And then he pulls around, right? And then when hold on. So he's backed it up pretty good, you know. Now I want to get to the part where he's fiddling around. Okay, see how the sun's already coming up, right? You see him right there. But I'm trying to think, like, did I go too far? I'm trying to remember, like, okay, what is he doing? Okay, this might be it. Because right now he's the car. Okay, there he is, right there, doing something. But the sun's already starting to come up right there. I think I don't know if I went past with the oil or the gas can. I'm trying to remember. Oh, there it is right there. Okay. So you'll see, hold on just a minute. Okay. So just a minute. It's like these seconds, they feel like for, oh, there you go. Okay, see, he's in his truck right now. And then he's going to come around. And if you look, you'll kind of see that he kind of looks this way up, like, oh yeah, remember, there's a camera here. You're on candid camera. And so he's got to be like, well, I got to look like I'm putting something in there. So see, he's like, do you see how he looked? Did you see that? Did you catch that?
I've only got a still picture on my screen.
Oh, okay. Hold on just a minute. What's going on with that? Oh, okay. Hold on. Excuse me. Okay. Well, good thing because I just got to the part. Okay. Sorry. I forgot I changed the tab. Okay. Okay. So what he had been doing is he's in his car. And so hold on. Let me rewind it. Just okay. Okay, see, you'll see him watch and he'll turn really briefly and look this way towards this camera. And it happens fairly quickly, but even his chest is turned towards this surveillance camera. And that's when it's about to happen. See how he looked? He's like, oh yeah. So that's when he grabs the gas can, right? Look, he acts like he's putting it. And he's fiddling around, probably making sure the tarp is over the bodies. But then he takes out, and then oh no, I can't go that way. So he goes around. So why couldn't he go that way? You know?
Strange.
Yeah, and then he does it on the other side. And he acts like he's putting the can in, but he doesn't. And I'm pretty sure he's positioning, making sure things are covered, and then he just leaves the gas can. You know? But I just found that interesting. When I saw him look at the camera, I was like, good Lord, you know? And, he's just taking his time. I don't know.
Somebody said maybe they were Shanann's jeans. I don't know.
I mean, because they obviously were bigger, because Shanann was, definitely skinnier than him. So, I mean, that's something that is interesting. I don't know, other than maybe he had him on when he was moving some stuff around and changed really quick before he left. But he hadn't been back. So I don't know. Maybe he was just going to give him to, don't donate them. I don't know. It's interesting. What?
But why would you, like, after murdering everybody, why would you put one pair of jeans down the bottom of the stairs to donate? Yeah, really
Right.
weird.
Yeah. I mean, it is. And I mean, I wonder. I see. Maybe I'm. No. What? Who? Is something happening? What's going on? Soul for music. Is everything okay? Her jeans look like women's jeans, not guys. You know, it's but definitely like I don't think there's much we can put into it because again, it's not like he came back to the house after. Chances are, most likely, he may have been wearing them when he dragged Shanann's body down the stairs. And maybe got a little bit of trace evidence, and took them off there. And, that's a possibility. But I don't know. That seems plausible. But that's it's an interesting thought, but maybe, and I don't know if they, like, I know when they came back the next day that the suitcase was moved. So it was in their bedroom. So I don't know. That's a good question. I wonder if they took that, or by the time they came back, were they gone? That's interesting.
I need to go now. This is the longest I've ever been on a live.
And it's like, but I mean, you could still go on and on. There's still so much to like look at, and you know what I mean? Like just finding things like that, So yeah, but thank you. I hope you'll join me again.
Thank you for having me, everybody.
Of course. Thank you. It was a pleasure. And I hope you'll come back because we're going to get through it. We still have a lot to go.
Very interesting.
Yeah, thank you for your input. Have a great day. Bye. Yeah, so, and that's what, but that's interesting. If anybody can find out any information about that, is everything okay? Like, Soul for Music, are you good? Because I can see you. Yeah, he definitely did lose weight, Paige. I mean, that was for sure. So, is this something that is maybe just something that really is nothing? But can you hear? So I can hear you, Soul for Music. Like, I see you or hear you. I can hear you. Yeah. I mean, Karen, but at the same time, those were big looking jeans, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's who knows? She may have just like she may have just like got in there, man. She left her suitcase, took off her pants, and just went upstairs, and because I guess it was kind of hot there upstairs, and so she's probably like, I'm just ready to get in bed, who knows? It could have been. Okay, is everything okay though? The code went to the beginning. What happened? The code went to the beginning. What? Yeah, no, it definitely, I didn't have anything to do with that. Yes, people, like we are debunking that it was Chris. I mean, we're debunking the conspiracies that there was anybody else involved. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden I was at the beginning of the video when you were yelling at people about type 1. Oh, what? That's so strange. I mean, I wasn't yelling, I don't think, but no, I mean, Set the Record Straight was in here and was just being very disrespectful. And Red Lotus wanted to talk because she has a daughter with type 1 diabetes. So they were just being very rude. So yeah. Yes. So, yeah, I sleep like that myself, you know? So, she could have been like, God, I just want to get this off. Like, ugh, like she put her suitcase. She didn't even take her suitcase upstairs. She's like, I'm not even carrying this upstairs. I'm tired. I'm hot. I'm hot. I'm uncomfortable. I'm taking my pants off and I'm going up, you know? That could very well have been the situation. But yeah, she was very exhausted. So, but I'm gonna go ahead. I'm like, we could just keep going on forever, but we're getting there. But I'm gonna go ahead and go. Yeah, I didn't yell. I did not yell at all. I was staying very, very cool and calm. But I was just like, enough is enough. They're just pests. And so, and I gave them ample opportunity to come up and talk, but they don't want to do that. They don't want to. Yes, that's so strange, Sulfur Music. That's funny. But yeah, I could keep talking forever, but we're gonna end it here tonight, guys. And thank you everybody who joined and hung out. This was awesome. It was great to have Red Lotus on earlier talking about type 1 and her experience, and then having Miss Jane. Hello everybody, it's Miss Jane. I love saying that. That was really awesome. But yeah, slowly but surely we're going to get through this and, answer questions and get to the truth and, debunking one day at a time. So, but pretty soon we're going to get to the second confession and all that. So, oh, that's okay, Sulfur Music. I know what you mean. Being stern, because I was at that point, I was like, oh my God, will you stop? You know what I mean? Like, we're not doing that. But I get it. It's okay, Sulfur Music. I get you. I understand. I feel you, girl. I feel you. Let's see, valid points. Yeah, exactly. Right, Karen. Exactly. And if a woman was involved at all, yeah, like the purse wouldn't be there. All these things. So, but like I said, we're going through this logically and based on evidence. Everybody, hopefully, and the people that want to understand the truth. What time? It's like 5:03 a.m. on my end here. So yeah, but yeah, we're going to get through it and debunk all the conspiracies and everything. So, but I hope everybody has a great day, good evening. I love you all. Thank you, mods, Fact Base. Thank you for being my bodyguard always. And Cat in a Hat, I know, and I know you were not feeling good, but thank you for your help. So I love you all. Remember, spread peace and love, but always stand up to bullies. Okay? You always stand up to bullies. All right. Love you all, and I'll see you next time.